Vigilante Williamson here with the very first episode of Vigilante Williamson, the Brave and the Bold. You see my panel because I didn't really do like a lot of prep because but I did some prep. On the topics. I have my man Slasher McSplitter, who I went 6 hours or almost 6 hours with on Christmas Day.
Hello, Happy New Year, everybody.
I have Happy New Year. It's a new year. Hopefully a new us. We'll see.
We'll see. How
go. I have my man Fireball Productions, who I've been on his streams. He's been on my streams a ton, and we've been on streams together.
Hail everybody.
I have Fenrir the Ice Wolf, who I'm trying to drag into content creation because he's a really good writer, and we need really good writers out there, especially being young.
Hail to you all.
Yeah, and then we have, of course, the hilariously undersubbed but great Wes Moody of Wes Moody's Webcast.
Hey everybody! Yeah, I am hilariously undersubbed. YouTube doesn't like me. I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it goes.
I think it's like gambling. Like you just go on hot streaks sometimes.
YouTube doesn't like smart people.
They don't. Yeah. See, if I was going around hawking products, they'd probably like me a lot more.
Depends on Shadow Legends.
Well, Joe Rogan was hawking pocket pussies when he started, so I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of comics would do fleshlights and read for that stuff.
Got like a CBD oil sponsor or something.
Mm-hmm. Manscaped. You see that one everywhere.
Oh yeah, Jeremy from the Quartering, I think, was doing that one for a while, wasn't he?
I don't know. I don't watch too much of his videos. I mean, I know him, but I'm not really sure.
That is not a good matchup for that spot. Like, you know what I mean? Because Manscaped is not something you really want to advertise to you at all. But to Jeremy, but I don't want to think about him like, Manscaped and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like no one want to think about me Manscaped. It's just not.
Also, in the middle of conversation, do you want someone telling you to shave your balls? You want them to just stop for 2 minutes and tell you to shave your balls and then go back to the subject?
I'd rather than not think about that at all.
I'd rather they not.
I don't need anybody to tell me to shave my balls, buddy.
I mean, that seems like a personal problem.
There are some comedians that make it funny and fun though. Like it's like you're kind of like, okay, that read was enjoyable. For the most part, you're like, but sometimes it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I always said if I ever got an advertisement, as long as I can make it fun, I would do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's like Raid Shadow Legends. I've seen like Internet Historian make it fun and make fun of it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I'll do manscaping.
I would. It's gonna pay me? Yeah.
Yeah. And
for sure. That's actually, I'm kind of amazed guys like Gary and Az and Doomcock don't really do ads. I'm like, man, there's a lot of money to be made there. It's wild that they're just like, nah, it's just not my thing. I'm more about having integrity. It's like, wow, that is so honorable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's better to have honor than money because look at all the celebrities of today.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. So, as far as the subjects, the main subject is dealing with fandom. And there's a few different like spinoffs of that. I think we all kind of saw the Pablo Hidalgo. If you didn't, I'll reset it. But Pablo Hidalgo is a guy works at Lucasfilm. Made fun of Star Wars Theory, crying about Luke appearing, and that caused a uproar. And I think it was also revealed that there's like a hit list of different creators, and that there is a lot of people who agree with Pablo Hidalgo. I think there also came out that there were people who were upset about a white male lead. And so that got me thinking about just how fandom has been attacked over the years. And there's a couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about that specifically, like how do we react to this going forward? And then just the fact that I see this parallel of what's happening and what's happened with fandom. And that's, not to get, well, we are going to get somewhat political, especially with Wes Moody on and me. And but just the idea that, okay, that same sort of gaslighting has now become the standard for how mainstream media treats everything. So that's really the overview of this. But first, I actually had some stories, some old stories. I want to go back in the past a little bit. and then I'll let you guys, each go. But this is an old story about 2018 or no 2019. I'm sorry, about how racism, misogyny, and death threats, how the Star Wars fans turned to the dark side. And it's just I could go through it, but for the most part, it's just talking about how toxic the fans were, and it only talked about crazy Star Wars fans have told me to kill yourself, things like that. It made it never, this article, and I have another article talking about Ryan Johnson, they never bring up the man babies comment from 2018. And then I also noticed how staged this photo from the time looked. Doesn't this guy look happy? Like he knows what's happening. But yeah, so I guess I know I just kind of set a lot of stuff up. But what does everybody think about how fans have been attacked in general, and how that's still kind of continuing just for being a fan?
Well, I can just speak from my point of view, just like hearing, like reading, like you reading these articles, and you like, I'm getting angry. Like I could feel my anger, like inside, like I feel like attacked and I feel frustrated. So it's like when they put all this stuff out there and then people don't handle it well and say really terrible things, like I get it. Like it's not to say you should do that, but I understand like where it's coming from, and the fact that they can't acknowledge that they have no idea. Like, oh, they're all like, I called everyone racist and misogynistic and homophobic, and they said mean things to me. Can you see how terrible they are? But they don't connect the dots at all. It's just I find it genuinely very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just if anything, at the very least, attacking the fans, it's poor etiquette, and at the very least, and at worst, you don't attack your customer. All right, you listen to the customer. You don't have to agree with the customer, but you got to at least listen to the customer. If the customer says, "I'm not happy with the product," you got to listen to the customer, and at least acknowledge that they're not happy with the product. And personally attacking them. I mean, I frankly, I've not observed any of the behavior that they were talking about as far as death threatening of the cast and things like that. I've seen them say that Ryan Johnson sucks, which he does, and things like that. And it is poor etiquette on the fans' part to personally attack as well, if any have. But what I've seen is it's just a very, very vocal minority of people that were doing that.
I noticed the claim of death threats is always a shield for people to hide behind. Whether it's, whether they were really given death threats or not, they could just say it, and they could, just use that as a shield.
Yeah, it makes them a victim, and it makes them correct no matter what.
Yeah.
They're like, well, and then so automatically you're like, oh, well, this person who's doing this is so much worse than the person who's receiving it. So they're immediately an empathetic figure. Not to say that they deserve to die or anything, but it's like you did stir up the fandom by attacking them and belittling them and insulting them. It's like you're surprised they came back at you. Like, what did you think? They're gonna be like, oh, thanks for all the abuse.
I mean, I'm not saying death threats are cool or anything, but I'm saying people could just, pull it out of their ass and just, hide behind that.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's also really annoying when someone creates its own fandom, its own new thing, a new comic, just to escape these toxic people, to go do their own thing. But then they also follow them and criticize their thing of the new creator. It's pretty annoying. Just leave the guy alone. He left because he didn't want to deal with your crazy shit. So stop following them. They're willing to be the viruses themselves.
It's also not incredibly unique to these people. Like, I'm a big fan of the comedian Jim Norton, and he's talked about over all the years how many like death threats he's gotten and like crazy comments and things that people have said. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but it is kind of part of being in the public eye, especially if you're the kind of person who's going to make any sort of divisive claims or even just really express your opinion on a grand scale. You have to consider that there's a portion of the population out there, whether they're representative of a bigger group or not, that are just mentally ill and are going to just fire off and say crazy things. Like there's no prerequisites to having a Twitter account. So it proves nothing. It's just that, okay, there's someone said something terrible to you, and that's par for the course of being in the public eye. Proves zero.
I agree with that. And actually, I just wanted to read this one line I found. And who was this talking? This Vanity Fair's Joanna Robinson wrote this in 2017. one thing that got a lot of negative feedback was the exploration of mansplaining. Robinson told me what Laura Dern and Carrie Fisher's characters had to deal with. So yeah, this is like the stuff we were getting, and it's like, you know, screwed mansplaining. Like, Hardo didn't make sense. No leader would lead that way. And Critical Drinker did a great video breaking down how they could have had a similar dynamic and done it so much better with Hardo and Poe. Again, got to show this very realistic smile. I've never seen three people smile so enthusiastically.
That looks like
Looks very fake.
that doesn't even look. He doesn't even look human there. He looks like a fucking action figure.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah. And what is Ryan Johnson doing?
I think he's running
What's he
away.
pointing? What's he pointing at?
I think he has the racist OK symbol in
Oh,
front of
he
him.
is doing the OK symbol.
Nailed
Oh,
him.
shit.
Maybe somebody's playing with the titty monster, you know, the
Maybe.
titty milk monster.
And this is what Luke's going through right now while you guys are on this ship. Luke is pressing a titty.
And drinking some good old green milk.
Like green milk. Yeah. But this is the stuff that we dealt with. Is this the man babies? Yeah, this is. He fires back at Star Wars man babies.
Yeah, I remember.
About man babies, yeah.
I remember that. So yeah, you know, that brings up a good point. See, I'm getting mad thinking about this all over again.
Right? I can feel it inside. I'm getting
We'll
angry.
reopen our old wounds.
Okay, imagine this. Imagine it's D-Day, right? And Dwight Eisenhower shows up in a purple wig in a cocktail dress and says, "Storm the beaches, boys." How would that work out?
No respect. They wouldn't do it.
No.
Or also, like, I'm not going to explain the plan to you. You just have to do what I say. Don't
That's
expect
cool.
any kind of dissemination of the details. Just do it like moment to moment with no idea of the bigger plan. Because that's how military strategy goes. You don't know about where you're supposed to meet up and link up. You're just supposed to do what I say, whenever I say it, without question. And if you don't, you're a sexist. Like,
Yeah.
If I was a
he's like the
soldier
second
of
command.
hers, I would run away.
I wouldn't fight for someone like that.
No. You're like,
I'd
no,
grab
we're
my
done.
hat and the room. It would be the smartest thing to do.
See, that's if I can make a leap right here. I think that speaks to this bigger misconception about sexism in America right now. Is like when women like attack these things and this, that, and the other. It's like you think that we blindly follow any man who's in charge simply because he's a man.
Yeah.
No, he has to be above all.
I mean,
Smart,
it's got to be the biggest misconception. He has to earn our respect for us to follow him. And I think that's what a lot of these people who fight these causes don't understand. They think simply because I'm in the position now and now treat me with all this respect and love, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter how I behave. It's just now give me all the respect that, you know, someone who's done it their whole life and earned our respect has received.
Yep.
Yeah, you were
No,
going ahead, so I
You know,
agree
I've
with
had
that.
female. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just adding on. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you know, I've had female bosses, and some of the, you know, the best bosses I've had have been female bosses, and some of the worst bosses I've had have been female bosses. And I can tell you, if quote mansplaining is a thing, well, you know, female bosses will do that too. We have a word for it, being a horrible cunt. But you know, it's the same behavior. It's condescension and talking down. So you know, you can call it whatever you want. But you know, there's you know, everybody does it, and it's usually not based on gender. It's usually just based on being a asshole.
Yeah, I mean, like to that same point, like I've worked for women I'd follow into battle.
Yeah,
You know
me
what I
too.
mean? It had nothing to do with their gender. It had to do with how they were leading and respectful, and that's what it's about. It's not about your identity. It's about your character.
Yeah, I've had good and
Wait,
bad
I have a
bosses
question.
and
I have a
also
question, Sheldon. I have a question. Who would you rather follow? Would you follow someone new who just came out of the military academy with no history of combat or any form of strategy, or a person who's older but has way more knowledge in combat, strategy, survivability, honor, just literally pretty much a G.I. Joe, pretty much. Who would you rather follow in the warfield?
G.I.
Yeah,
Joe.
G.I. Joe, obviously.
Obviously. The best choice.
Yeah,
we
to
can't
keep you alive.
But yeah,
I think-
you bring up a good point with that, because now if your identity, you have to push in whoever in that leadership position.
It's just a matter, I think, it really of just not having any respect. because it's just I'm the woman in Star Wars, so now you like it. And it's like, no, what? No, like it wasn't like I didn't have a blind allegiance to this thing. I liked it for reasons, and now you've come and undone all those reasons, and then you attack me for not enjoying it. It's like, what is happening? Complete cognitive dissonance on their end.
Yep.
Yeah. And Lord Thoth, I've been bad at getting to the chat. I didn't expect so many people. I appreciate everyone. We got 10 people in here. He says, I have followed women into battle. They are tougher soldiers than the men most of the time. Yeah, I've had similar, my favorite boss was a woman, and she was on point. She was one of the most on point. My least favorite boss was also a woman too.
Yep.
But no, there's a dude that's tied with it. But like, my point is, it depends on the person. Leadership is not an easy quality to have.
No,
at all.
not.
There's very few really good leaders. So, like in general, if you have a good leader, you have a good leader. But if you don't, then you don't. And that's what it boils down to. And that's what made Holdo such a controversial figure. She was not a good leader. She did not explain the plan. She did not. All she did, her whole point was to go back to this article to talk about mansplaining. And they did this exploration of mansplaining. And you know what's funny? I have actually seen that same boss I'm talking about. I've seen, just because the corporate world is a fucked up place. And I've seen her get shit on because she's a woman. So it's not like this isn't a thing, but there's a way to do it. And that's not the way to do it. You know, you talked about earned respect. In the same franchise, Princess Leia earned her respect throughout the original trilogy. And
she was a badass.
She was a badass.
Just like her mother and her father.
Never ever heard a man complain about Princess Leia. Never, ever.
I think their response to be I bet their response would be something like, "Well, you only like her because she was sexualized with the bikini." Like that.
Oh, and she would be a problem today because of the buns in her hairs. Remember?
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot all about that dumb shit.
Wait.
Fact that it's
What's
Did you guys hear? Did everybody hear about that story?
No, I have no idea.
The buns are considered sexist or misogynist or something?
I think it's racist.
No, it's racist.
Oh,
It's
God.
Yeah, look how you have to go through the list.
Oh,
It's an option
God,
tree on an
dude.
RPG. Is it sexism, misogyny?
Yeah,
homophobia?
it's like
No,
a fun
racist.
program. It's like, if this equal racist, if not play sexist, if not.
What the fuck is racist about it?
It's so stupid. There's even that new game of Cyberpunk Ghost in the Shell or something. They were screaming at it because of the designs of the characters were too. I mean, just because of that, I just bought the game. I'm gonna buy it. I don't really care.
Oh, you probably shouldn't buy Cyberpunk. I would advise against that myself.
Yeah.
No, it's completely not made by the same company as the other.
Okay.
Okay. I'd follow Rambo. Killer Roy's. I appreciate that. Gotta love the Roy.
Good to see you, buddy.
I'm trying to keep with everyone in the chat.
I know Cyberpunk's a trash goal. Hey, Vigilante, remember the glitch drink?
What, the drinking Cyberpunk thing?
Yeah, that showed us that it was not a good game. I mean, you would have been dead if I didn't stop you.
Yeah. Okay. Couldn't even do it. Just to reset that, anyone who didn't watch, I did a stream. Ephemeral was in the chat, and he said, "Drink every time there's a bug," and that went 10 minutes.
Out.
And I got 2 or 3 in, and I said I stopped counting. I'm like, no, I can't do that because I just took a shot. And I was like, okay, no. And I mean,
it went out make at least 15 to 16 glitches after that.
Yeah, I would have done. I would have killed the bottle. I would have been done. I'm not even a drinker like that. So no, I can't handle it.
Hey, Vigilante, I think Wes Moody's got a book.
Oh, yep, yeah. I've got to get
Yeah,
going for a bit. If you're still up and running in an hour or so, I might be able to rejoin. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. It was cool to come on your channel and chat it up about this stuff.
All right, real quick. Oops, I don't want to kick you out. Just plug the channel.
All right. Well, you can find me at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about current events, pop culture, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. Hope to see you there, my friends.
And he does it all in a very soothing voice.
Yeah, very soon.
Oh, interesting.
Thank you.
All right, Wes. I appreciate you coming on, and because I knew you had a lot of stuff going on, and thank you, Matt, for showing me. Because this is my first time actually hosting a show, and I realized, oh, there's a bunch of stuff to pay attention to.
Absolutely, but yeah. It gets tough when you're manning the chat and you're manning the focusing the panel and doing all the backstage stuff.
Well,
But
live and you learn.
absolutely. So thanks for having me on. Hail to you guys on the panel, and hail to the best chat on YouTube.
Yes, and sub to Wes 100 times, and see. I'm such a bad producer.
100
I don't have his link up, so yeah.
Have a good one, Wes. Happy New Year.
Hey, this is the pilot. This is the pilot of the Brave and the Bold. So as we go
Absolutely.
on, I'll get better. So you got to get better by going.
He's a good dude. I want to stream with him more. I like Wes.
He is a really good dude. He is a really good dude. Hit him up. He does whatever Wednesdays, and that's where I end up streaming on Wednesdays. I'm not sure, but this later in the day. Well, no, you're in Cali. You're Cali time too. You're in Cali.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, it's Wednesday night. So I'm not sure. You should hit him up. I'm sure I'll let you on.
I just put his link in the chat, so you guys should be able to. If you haven't subbed, sub on over to Wes Moody.
All right. You know what? Can I see it?
I don't know. It's on the. Yeah, Thoth did it too.
Okay.
In there. Yeah.
Let me make everybody a wrench if I haven't already. Got to go into YouTube real quick.
That's funny. I was going to do that, man. Like, oh, God, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. So who's a wrench? You know what? Just another red shirt. You're not just another red shirt to me. You're not a wrench, whether you want to be or not. You're not just another red shirt. You're the red shirt, and now you're the wrench. Sorry, bro. You shouldn't even get a choice. Where's Fireball? I'll make you a wrench. And if anybody else wants to be a wrench, if you two want to moderate for Vigilante Williamson, you can too. And like I said, just another red shirt was it just was forced upon him, like feminism was on Western culture. Again, shout out to Lord Thoth. Please sub to Wes Moody and sub to all these guys. I need to get everyone's link in the chat. And, Fenrir, you need to show me your link because finding you is impossible. I'm going to force content on your channel. If it's nothing else but clipping stuff out where you're on with me and making it content because we have to get you out there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, Rajesh, I think anyone can leave a link, but there was just some issues with YouTube like last month or last few weeks, and we just kind of it's guaranteed if it's a wrench. Sometimes it goes away if not.
Yeah, and then it wasn't even working.
Channel for no reason.
What was that?
I don't even make videos. Last week, YouTube destroyed my channel for no reason. I couldn't find it, couldn't answer. I had to send an email making some noise about this to get it back. And I don't even do videos. I just do.
I wonder if they were just purging those channels that are just kind of empty that no one uses. You know what I mean? They just haven't accessed in a while, and sometimes they just get the wrong ones get caught up in that purge. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe.
Could be. I'm not
That's-
very active.
Because that's the non-exosomic exploration. The other one says maybe they go off of what your chats are, and then they just because there were a lot of people. I just saw that, and it wasn't just Fenrir. I just saw other people say, "Oh yeah, I lost my account. That got me scared.
I got one of those little gray context things under one of the on our video did the New Year's stream. They put something like a context, a Wikipedia link for flat Earth theory.
Really?
I was like, no one talked about flat Earth theory. What the hell is this? It was so random.
Crazy. So that's algorithmic. That's not
Right?
That's a glitch. That has to be a glitch.
I know. It was so wild. I'll check and see if it's still there, but it was there the other day. It was so crazy. I was like, what the hell? But it's they're watching you, man. They're monitoring you. You can't say shit. Don't say anything outside. Oh, I'm at 339. Nice. I got two subs today.
Yeah. Sub. Hey, keep subbing. We need more subs for everybody here. Everybody is under sub, man. I feel like all the channels that we're linked with, everybody is really good.
Yeah,
There
I
are a
think
lot of real good channels that are
and committed.
yes.
I got my link.
Oh, okay. If you send it in the Discord, I can't see. Can you see the private chat? Because I know you're in the private chat. Yeah, send it in the private chat, and then we'll put it on because we got to get your channel growing. We got to get you some subs. Maybe that'll keep them from yeeting your account next time. If there's some people sub to Fimber. And even if you can't do like, full videos or whatever, we can just, whenever you're on, clip it out and turn it into a video.
Okay, so on my video now, at least on YouTube, the little Wikipedia thing is gone. So maybe they corrected it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, to go back to what he said, electric eye in the sky, feel my stare, always there. That's what it feels like.
Is that a quote from 1984? It sounds like it.
It sounds like it. I'm not sure what that's quote for. It's dangerous to make a living off of YouTube right now. They can cancel channels so quickly. If Library and Odyssey can get live streams with chat donations, they will lift. I agree. D Live has live streams, but they're more of a Twitch comp. And I like them, but this stream right now is streaming to D Live and Twitch. I stream it to those platforms as well. Everything, because you can do it in StreamYard.
It's tough though. You'd have to build like your central audience around something more neutral, like a social media thing, so that wherever you are, then your audience can see it. But I mean, so far we're building our audiences around YouTube, so it's like taking them to another platform is difficult.
It is. That's why the only real, if you're talking about platforms, we would have to grow with those platforms.
Yes.
And I mean, I haven't done a good enough job. When I very first started, I would try to upload as much as I can to BitChute, but I mean, if it would upload, it took forever, and it was just such a bad technical problem. Even though I would have videos that would do better on BitChute than they would on YouTube. But
what happened to Daily Motion? Is Daily Motion still in existence?
Oh yeah, what did happen to Daily Motion?
It has a lot of good episodes of Stargate, and it's very useful, but it has its flaws.
I think it is. I feel like I've used a Daily Motion video on one of my streams or something, one of my podcasts, talking about one of the subjects.
Yeah, I used to. There's the whole. I mean, there's videos here. I mean, it's like a newer interface. It looks a little more kind of updated and streamlined. It looks like less bulky. Like the videos are kind of automatically streaming. It's a different looking interface, but.
I'm about to check it out and bring it up because I haven't seen Daily Motion in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in freaking years. Yeah.
Which that's not a good sign if we're looking at the next place to go to. Wait, is
that's true.
I mean, yeah, it does have a better look, a lot better look, at least the desktop. Let me bring it up. Just the little look. It's a much cooler look, you know what I mean? It has little sections.
Yeah. Are there YouTubers on here?
Jesus, this is old. Look at this. Should the Giants consider trading Odell Beckham 2 years ago?
Good God, how old is that?
There's not a lot of.
So that's what I mean, flaws.
Yeah. Unfortunately, man, YouTube's the platform. You kind of get with it. But you're right. But he's right though. They do wield a lot of power because I mean, you look at like what's his name? Not Jeremy. Josiah.
Rises. Yeah.
Flying, and then they just demonetize them.
And then right after announced the rule that even if you're not monetized, we will monetize your stuff.
Yeah.
And then demonetize Crowder and Mr. Obvious as well.
And now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen like Josiah's videos in my recommended feed in a really long time.
Yeah, I rarely see them. I think because I'm subbed. I'll like if I want to see my subs, I have to go to the little sub thing and scroll down and hope that I catch something.
And
There's no way I see it recommended.
And he's still at 187,000 subscribers. They stopped him dead in his tracks. That is so fucked up.
Yeah, and they'll do it to all of us, and that's the real fear, and that's the real just like, okay, there's a cap. So if there is a thought of making a living or making even a side hustle out of this, you almost have to like build in like other forms of monetization because you can't rely on the platform, even though the platform will monetize you at the exact same time.
Yeah, dude. I'm looking at his old videos. It says popular uploads. Like 3 months ago, it's 1.2 million views. 2 months ago, 880,000, 517,000, 3 months. The ones in the past day, 2 days, 33,000, 25,000, 8,000, 70,000. Boy, they just
killed them. And you know what?
Yeah.
we can use this to spin off into the next subject, because the next subject is about how this gaslighting of fandom that we were just talking about is not what they do for everyone. And Josiah Rises is a perfect example of the powers that be just destroying a narrative that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Speaking
because
of this of toxic fandoms, speaking of toxic fandom, I know this is a shot in the dark, but have any of you ever seen that that ridiculous She-Ra reboot from Netflix?
No.
Oh, I didn't
I heard
see it,
Nikki
but I
Sparkles
heard,
on
heard
Clownfish.
plenty about it.
That fandom is as toxic as the Steven Universe fandom. They literally sent death threats to a kid for drawing one of the characters of this reboot as the form of the original one, which was white, and this one is, I think she's black or Indian, I don't know. They made her white. He made her white like in the original, and they sent a shit ton of death threats to him. Like, he was a 13-year-old boy, and they just sent.
Jesus.
That is just fucked up. I mean, where's the morality anymore?
And you never hear anything about that fandom either.
No.
Never. And yeah, Geeky Sparkles from Clownfish TV did a lot of reporting on the She-Ra thing. I'm not into the She-Ra. I was into He-Man as a kid, but I didn't keep up with it. But yeah, you're right. And you mentioned Steven Universe. I remember that was my first, normie red pill about how toxic fans were really toxic. This toxic left, because they made that girl, or they
That's
kept
the one thing I know
her.
about that. Yeah, that's the one thing I know about Steven Universe is what you were about to talk about. That the person who drew a slimmer version of a character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about Steven Universe.
It's very disturbing. Sorry, I find it very disturbing how, like, not just the toxicity, but how much of like real life they want to undo. That really is really concerning. Like, I do you guys know Ryan Long? You know the comedian Ryan Long?
Yeah,
I've heard things about him.
He's really funny. He has his boys cast, boys, and he was talking about Emma Thompson. I guess Emma Thompson is an actress. She's very famous, very good, and she was talking about something. I guess the double standards in Hollywood or whatever, about how they always pit like an older man with like a younger woman, and they never flip it around. And it's like, yeah, because that's what's attractive to normal people is like. Women, like men, obviously like a younger woman. She's attractive. She's healthy. She can have babies. And like an older man comes with status and comes with usually money and like a confidence, a peace about himself. It works. Like that's why that dynamic exists. This isn't made up. We're not like running with an agenda. This is just how they interact. And it's like they want to depict things that don't reflect reality to like satisfy like this weird like social engineering bug inside them where they want to just change the nature of reality. It's very disturbing to me. I find it very off-putting.
That's exactly what it is. Go ahead, Femmer.
Yeah. For example, have you heard they want to destroy reality to a bad level? I mean, after the New Year's Eve, a lot of people have gotten fat. I'm gonna be honest. Even me, I've got a few pounds. Yesterday, magazine sent out a tweet telling people to get a little healthier, get out, run a bit, lose some weight, and they were barraged by a bunch of assholes on Twitter that the same magazine apologized. There's no fucking reason to apologize. People need to lose weight. That makes them healthier. I myself, I'm fat, and I plan to lose a lot of weight this year. It's not a thing to scream at. People need to lose weight. No, that acceptance is not a good thing. That people should really feel ashamed. They would want to run and be better.
Well, it's not even a fat person thing. It's a fat female thing.
Absolutely. Because you see my
no
chubby
fat, no fat men are, like they're attacked all the time, and nobody is like, oh, stop fat shaming. Chris Farley. I know he's been dead for over 20 years. I'm just saying, like
dude, this.
Chris Farley's whole appeal was that he was fat. He would jump around like a maniac.
I said something like that at a party. I guess it's like pre-COVID, but it was like one of the last parties I was at. And I said, and these women lost their shit. I was watching the Lizzo video, And she's a big fat pig, and then she's got like these two, like the dancers with her, the guys that are these shredded looking linebacker motherfuckers, and I'm like, if it's about body positivity, then how come throw a couple fat guys in there? Like the girls, they're like their brain.
Fat guys don't matter to hot girls, so they're not.
Of course
humans.
not.
They're we want real humans, like hot guys and women, not what?
Yeah, it's like such a hypocritical double standard. It's like, so wait, so then we'll just like shower this fat girl with like hot dudes and like that's progress, but like the not for fat dudes, obviously that's crazy. It's like, what is your worldview?
Rules for thee, not for me. It's their thing. I mean, if a very skinny and attractive model, she would not date a fat guy, despite the fact of her saying fat acceptance and bullshit. Date other fat people, blah blah blah. But if it was a fat woman who wanted to date a skinny guy and the guy didn't want that, then there is hell right there.
She might date a fat dude if like the fat dude had like objective qualities that women find attractive, like status, wealth.
Harvey Weinstein is pretty fat, man. Harvey Weinstein wasn't no skinny dude.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, if you have a Maserati, you can do anything.
You can at least get a little further than to do without it. If you're taking the bus to bring her to Red Lobster, I mean, she's that's not exactly what they call the panty dropper. You know what I mean? But like you pick her up in an S class, you know what I mean? Like you get a great table at a big restaurant. I mean, you're doing better.
Exactly. And this is what Draco has it. It's the victimization loop. Don't attempt to rescind my victimization. That's exactly what it is. And
brilliant.
They hate life. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of they hate life. I know with Josh, I didn't get to everyone in chat, but he was talking to us about Odyssey and Library. I guess they can mirror your content, so I will probably start doing that.
Well, to that they hate life thing, like we've talked about this before, it's like they wrap up their identity so much in this mission to like reshape society in their image, and every example where society is not reshaped in their image is like a loss to them, is like a and so they feel the pain internally, like on something that like is just they're fighting the nature of reality. It's like trying to stop a hurricane. It's like what do you do? You can't stop it. This is the way it is. Like, and that's why I think they're so miserable, because they attach themselves to this cause so much that's contrary to the nature of reality.
So I'm going to slightly challenge something. All right, well, go ahead before I get into this comment. Go ahead.
I gotta be honest, it's incredibly sad they want to destroy the logic of humanity. They think we live in some kind of wheel, and there are actual people that keep this thing going, but there's no one keeping it going because it's just the way shit is. Let's be honest. They want to destroy it all because I sometimes think the only reason why they want to ruin everything is because mommy and daddy never gave them enough love, or themselves just said they didn't love them as children. That's why I think they want to destroy society in so much.
I definitely think there's a mommy and daddy complex going on with a lot of people, or just like that projecting this. Let's go into this comment, projecting their personal problems into their art. No universal message of the human condition, just a small, narrow personal bias of life. And the saddest thing about this idea is, to me, art, at least as a creative, is supposed to take your personal problems, but they're not supposed to be projected. They're supposed to be like transformed. You know what I mean? You're using this as fuel or as a part. Some of the best art comes from people with deeply personal issues, but they don't project their problems. They're able to reflect them and use them for something. And these people just cannot do that.
It's very insightful.
And another thought is, I've said this before, and there's several things going on. There's several things at once. Fimber brought up the bad childhood or the bad, whatever. A lot of these people end up having personal issues. You know what I mean? There's also the competency issue, where these people do not have a skill, and they're writers and they're just unskilled and they need a crutch.
They're parasites. They're parasites.
Absolutely. And we just saw with that with the Ryan Johnson, all that. Oh well, you're racist. Now I don't have to be good. I talked about with Batwoman. I made a video because I am going to watch it because I need to hate watch something, and plus I think Javika Leslie looks pretty nice.
Thicker than a Snicker? Was that
Thicker
the
than a
phrase
Snicker.
you used?
It was thicker than a Snicker because it was her idea to do the bodysuit. So I'm like, okay, you should lean into that, but I don't know if they'll let her. What were you about to say, Fiver?
Dude, don't do it. I've seen Batwoman almost every single episode. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm just trying to politicize everything. I mean, there's this episode where a girl literally hacked half the city, nearly made trains shock with each other and kill everyone, and the whole basics of the shit. The reason why she did it was because there weren't gay people on television to inspire her, which made no sense.
But that sounds accurate. See, like, I want to see that because that's like how they are. Like, that's really good. Like, damn, what a good depiction of a supervillain.
Apparently, this person has never watched television within the past fucking 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
See, I just find that funny. I find that funny because it's so absurd. It's so up their own ass that it's like just let them run wild. Like someone with like no creative talent, no refinement of their vision or their word, just like having like it's like you basically like one day we're like, I want to be a TV writer, and they're like, write this way, and then they just let you like write a TV show before you ever even tried and failed, and then you get this like this magnificently genius pile of shit. Like that sounds
where were these people handing out these writing positions when I was like 20, 25 years old? Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
let me tell you something. The episode didn't end like that. Let me tell you how it ended. Batwoman felt so inspired by the girl's words that she literally revealed to the public that she was gay, despite people starting to think that Batwoman had this romantic relation with a police officer, which, if she was smart as a vigilante, it would make sense that people thought that she was straight. And she's actually a lesbian, because it would reduce the chances of people discovering her secret identity. Looking for a straight woman her size with the same hair shape, it would put the chances way down. It's actually a smart move if you're doing the shit she does. And another reason why the Batwoman character is not going to work for season 2 in matters of common sense. I mean, Javika Leslie is a great actress from time to time. I've seen a few things. She's beautiful, I'll admit it. But Batwoman is not going to work because when it was Ruby Rose, the chances of figuring out her identity were high. It was a white woman around her height and physical stability. There would be a lot in Gotham, but now they're going to be looking for a black woman around her height, physical stability, combat capability, and hair. That puts the chances actually smaller.
Yeah, and there's no black woman in Gotham at all on this show. There's no black people on the
show. So she just basically gave herself away with like one of the most like identifiable qualities possible in the really. That's great.
The whole faceless mask thing, you know.
This
is why are white and identical to Bruce. Because if Dick or Jason takes the identity of Batman, they will literally look identical to Batman, making it impossible to figure out that it's Bruce or any of the others. You're actually identical to each other, depending on the artist.
I will say, Anthroparian brings up a good point.
And that was my point.
Yeah.
That's why I am going to cover it. Batwoman is going to be a channel bumper. Hills vs. Babyface will review and get a boost for it. The more ridiculous it is, the more people will look for YouTube videos shitting on it just like TLJ. So I am hoping that, especially with the fact that I have a massive crush on Javika Leslie, and I think that'll add an element to my reviews that'll be fun.
Where do you watch CW shows? You watch that like on I
have no idea. I'm gonna find out.
I don't either. I don't know.
We'll find out when the show premieres. I think it comes out in a week or two.
I think I want to join this. I think I want to get in on this. This sounds fun.
Yeah, let's do this, man.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's
hate watch Batman together.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna get a genuine pleasure out of it. Like I think I'm gonna love watching them just with no governor, you know what I mean? No refinement, just like whatever the craziest thoughts they have, just running free. I really want to see that.
I really like the Riots Unlimited. I watched a lot of his Batwoman reviews, however, I've never seen the show.
Okay.
And because it was entertaining.
Sure.
And he was entertaining. What was happening was and it was funny. He didn't really have to do much work. He was good. But like the show is so absurd.
Yeah.
That it's almost like if I didn't know any better, I would say they're trying to. It's like I don't know.
They're fucking with you.
Do Adam West, and do the Batman 66 thing, and this is actually a parody of itself.
That's awesome.
If you didn't know any better, that's what I would think. Because I think as a parody of itself, it's a lot more watchable.
The pleasure that the EFAP guys get out of it, I mean, it's like they're oozing with like just happiness and glee from just how much they love how absurd it all is. Like, oh, it sounds great. I can't wait.
Man, hey, who was it? Was it Darkside Phil who did the fapping on stream? Or am I thinking of something?
No way.
Yeah,
Jerk off on
that was
screen?
Darkside Phil. Yeah, that was Darkside Phil.
Yeah,
Nah.
I'm not gonna thought that
No, he didn't know he was about to start his stream,
Oh.
and he didn't know the camera was on.
What about review meeting?
Huh?
Have you heard about the comic book Gotham High?
Oh yeah,
I heard of it. I
with the
didn't see
gay
it.
Asian uncle.
Yeah,
Alfred,
Asian
Agent
Nightwing,
Bruce.
Black Pussy, Grace, and blah blah blah. Yeah, but let's be honest, it's not a great comic. But if you want to laugh, I suggest let's come together one day. I'll bring the whole thing in a PDF, so I'll send it to you. Let's review that thing because when you do it alone, it's pretty dry. But when you do it with people, it's a hell of a laughter.
Yeah,
That's
you know
just
what?
shit.
That's
Every
no
character that the Batman meets is either good in some way or redeemable. Is either Asian, and all of the ones that are completely evil are 100% white. Because there's a point where you start seeing the equalities of that.
huh? Didn't they just make Asian people white? So is that even cool now?
I have no idea.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but Asians are considered white because they're just I don't get these rules.
Oh, I saw some stupid shit on
That's
Twitter.
awesome. That's great.
Now,
Yeah, that's good.
they're officially white now. For some reason.
That's great. Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Speaking
it's
of
like,
awesome, is that a hat? You got your own hat?
yeah, I
How
do.
rich. I like
Yeah,
it.
I don't have merch. This was a gift from like a guy that I work with. It was just a really nice present, and I was like blown away and flattered. So I mean, I probably will have merch eventually, but
Oh man, I was like, yeah, I know something. That's clean.
right?
Yeah.
That's cool. I got
Yeah.
he gave me this in a sweatshirt. I was floored.
Oh man, super dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So I mean, honestly, I put on just because I'm a little chilly, but
Yeah.
but, you know, hey, also check it out.
The chat is on fire, so I want to get into some of the stuff. I had this up. Talking about the best art teaches you something about the human condition. We all share being human. Your personal experiences are unique to you, but the lessons they teach are universal. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we've talked about that. It's like there doesn't need to be a message. It's like a truth about the human condition. If you convey that authentically, people will respond to it. It's you know, no one likes a message, even if you agree with it. It's like when a teacher asks a really easy question in class. It's like you almost feel like degraded to answer it. You know, it's like I get it. I know I understand. Murder's bad. Really. Wow. Congratulations with how genius you are. It's like, no, you gotta. It's gotta be subtle. It's gotta be artistic. You need to, form that idea through a medium, through a lens, instead of just saying it and this is what I think about the thing. Who gives a shit? Shut up.
Yeah.
I saw this
Any
one. Go ahead.
Star Trek Discovery.
I do not watch that. I have no idea. I've seen like people talk about it, and I've even. Go ahead.
The show only has relevance because they like to say they're doing the first of this, the first of that. They're the first with the first transsexual cast in this universe, but it's all a lie. All the other Treks have done it. They've done it first and way better.
Well, that's the whole thing. I was watching some movie the other day, and I was watching. It's like, I think it wasn't a good movie, but it was Johnny Mnemonic. Did you see that movie?
I never saw that one.
It's really horrible. Like I don't recommend it.
It's horrible.
Oof.
I mean, I didn't hear it was awesome, but I didn't hear it was horrible either.
It was bad. Like it was really bad. Like the ideas were okay. It's William Gibson is like the screenwriter, and he's the guy who did Neuromancer. He's kind of like, he's kind of the father of cyberpunk, But it's a terrible movie. But there was a woman in it, and she's like ass kicky, and she's like remember the hot redhead from Starship Troopers?
Oh yeah, Dina Meyer.
Yep, and
Yeah.
she's in it, and she's kicking ass and like doing. And I'm just like, dude, this whole myth that like women were never like, you know, in badass roles, that they were never like ass kicking. Like it's just complete bullshit. And it's like they always say stuff like that. Oh, we're the first. Oh, it's never been done before. And then you have this weird, you're like, oh, I guess if they're saying it, and then you're like, wait, no, here's all these examples of other times that it had been done, and that's all gone. But that doesn't matter. That's all, you know, you're sexist. Well, that was wrong because it wasn't this and it wasn't that and it wasn't this, that. It's just like,
well, that particular woman back in what was it, the early or mid 2000s when they had the Birds of Prey TV show? She was on that show.
There was a Birds of Prey TV show?
I think it lasted a season.
Yeah, there was.
It only lasted a season. Yeah, Vigilante. It was only one season.
Was it good?
Live action or was it a?
Yeah, it was live action. Yeah, it was live action.
It wasn't that good for me. It can be for anyone else. It wasn't good.
Oh, it looks bad.
The girls were good looking.
2002?
Yeah. That's the credit I give that show.
Yeah, those chicks are hot.
Every woman on that show was hot. Yes.
Yeah, they're really cute, but it looks bad. It looks like they're trying to capitalize. Like they're trying to be like, this is like Buffy.
Yeah, because it has that CW look to it.
It really does. Yeah, that looks bad. But you know what?
Yeah,
that's because
idiots.
I mean, yeah, it was limited. Those 2002 was 18 years ago. Wow, this one chick's got like a see-through white top on. Great show.
Yes, that's 2002 as fuck.
Yeah, but they don't. You know, it's like I don't think Hollywood respects comic books. You know, like authentically. So it's like I think it's only recently they started making them with like integrity.
Well, there's a comment. The chat is going on about the James Bond thing, and I wanted to touch on that because I think that ties in a lot of what we're talking about now, and lost it because it was.
Dina Meyer got her gear out in Starship Troopers. Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did. That was one of the highlights of the movie.
Very progressive. They all showered together. There was no separation of the genders.
No. None of the women were getting
combat.
and they weren't getting shit from the males in Starship Troopers.
That's
they were
right.
You're a woman, you can't fight. None of that shit.
That movie is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that movie is aged like wine.
Wait, what did Fenner say? What'd you
There's
say,
one
buddy?
actor that can be the perfect James Bond. There's a perfect actor that can do James Bond perfectly. And I, as a black man, would rather him than anyone else. Any of you ever seen Lucifer?
Lucifer? I heard the show,
Yeah,
but I never
Tom
I never
Ellis.
saw it.
He would be a perfect James Bond.
Huh. I do
Well,
not
when
know.
they were saying Idris Elba, I was like, that sounds great.
Yeah, I thought honestly looking back, because the Batwoman thing, and I've covered the Black Woman 007, and I've even talked about how we've had black women in James Bond. I think Live and Let Die. And then we had Grace Jones in the 80s, Halle Berry in the 2000s. So she wasn't even the first. It was going off, we're the like, no, it's not the first.
Yeah, they act like black people haven't been in cinema in the past, but we've always been in movies with great roles. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shaft
yeah.
is a 50-year-old movie.
They also went on with Black Panther. It's the first. No, motherfucker. Blade came out in '98. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Blade came out in
Blade was a good
'98,
movie.
and if it was
Incredibly
and
important.
if it wasn't for Blade, you would have never gotten X-Men. You would have never gotten Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
It's a 3-movie franchise.
But I'm saying,
You know what I mean? Like,
Blade gave
successful.
Blade gave Marvel the balls to make good movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's still a movie that people like. It's not even like dated.
No, it's a fun movie. It's certain movies from the 90s age like really well just because they bring something that just isn't around now.
Yeah.
And so like that's a movie. I was on Yellow, in the chat because Yellow Flash does these like watch parties. He was watching Face Off, and like there's just something about that movie's so great.
Oh my God.
But those 90s movies and 80s into the early 2000s, there's just there's a masculinity to the action movies that just is not present today.
It's illegal.
Yeah, and you really did see it start to fade in the 2000s. It really started fading in the 2000s.
Yeah, that's why they're not good, because it's like they have like an action movie vibe, but it's denutted. So you just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is interesting.
Shambolin, yeah.
When you have a bunch of action stars, and when they're all banded together, they look like a fucking Abercrombie and Fitch catalog. It's not really, it's not aesthetic. The aesthetics are not,
It's just not cool. Like we were watching when we were streaming Die Hard. We're talking about Die Hard, right before Christmas. And dude, that movie is very masculine in a cool way. Like when he's getting off the plane in the beginning, like the stewardess gives him a little nod, a little what up. They have a little sexual moment, and it's like, yeah, that's how men want to be. That's how they want to see themselves. You know what I mean? That's the ideal we want to project ourselves in. Is like, you can save the day. You get the girl. Women want to for Christmas, want to bang you. And, dude, that movie is very masculine in a cool way. Like, is that me? He's getting.
No, sorry about that. That was me. I messed up. I was trying to make someone a wrench, and everything went screw up. This is what happens.
Vigilante, you're going to be running for a bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to step out for a second. I'll be back in like maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
All right,
cool. You want to just mute yourself and just stay on?
Yeah, sure.
That works. While he steps off, I was actually.
What happened to the old days of movies where there was a hero that could save the damsel in distress? I mean, a lot. My family. I have a lot of women in my family, and none of them had ever a problem with those kinds of movies.
No,
they had a good story and had a good female lead that had a personality on itself and was interesting. They would watch without a problem.
I actually have a hotter take on that, and I'll let you talk, my bad, Matt. But just not only did they not mind it, I think they liked those type of movies, and I think something's been taken away from women as well. You want to get more women, bring in Henry Cavill without a shirt, and I don't think they want to accept that sexuality. They'll tell you, about the male gaze, but what about the female gaze? And they've actually gone against it because they don't want to admit it.
I mean, it's like you think Thor had his shirt off for us.
They're there because of the male people's ass, not because of the female characters. They're there because of the ass.
Yeah, no, you're right, Fenner. They didn't have a problem with it until they were told in college to have a problem with it, and now they have a problem with it. It's like they went to college when they were impressionable, and then all this angry rhetoric was dumped in their brains, and now they're like, yeah, that is right. That is the way the world is evil, and these things are reflections of that evil, and we shouldn't have them because it'll perpetuate more evil. Like, meanwhile, they don't even really think that inside. They've just been programmed to think that. Yeah. And
I was going to
for some reason we listen to them. Let crazy people be crazy. I just don't know why they have any social influence.
You know what? I think there's a chain of things that happen, and college was a huge part of it. I know college is something that the American culture, at least for my entire life, has worshipped as like this holy grail sort of thing. Right. And so we told all of our kids to go into extreme debt. And remember, the price of college has gone up dramatically. The quality of the degree has gone down dramatically.
100%.
But we told all our kids, our entire youth, the best thing they could do is go to college. And of course, because this impressionable youth, and it actually started in schools. It wasn't just the colleges, but that's where it got extreme, and now it's dwindling down to schools. But it was just this idea of, well, the teacher said it must be true. And then when you talk about the progressive, which the word it being used is not being used by definition because this is not progress, but they think of themselves rather I'm more referring to the non-mentally ill people. Because the mentally ill people they just want something to drag on to, and here is something, you know what I mean? Here's something that represents them. So representation must be important. But the non-mentally ill person thinks, okay, I'm they've talked about the Nazi thing. I'm the person standing up to the Nazis. I'm the person on the Underground Railroad. That's what I think of myself as, except instead of racism or whatever, it is gender or it's equality for genders without actually thinking of what they're actually thinking about. And then the rule set, as that changes, they don't really realize what's changed around them or what that, intentionally noble or initially noble thought has now been perverted. And so now they're just in this chain. So that's why they can't realize they don't realize they're wrong, like most villains, right?
100%. I mean, you nailed it, like on so many levels, and that's why they perpetuate that's why they're so focused on historical atrocities or whatever to keep that narrative going, even though it doesn't apply in the modern day. It doesn't have as much relevancy as what they'd like us to believe, because it's a power struggle thing. It's got nothing to do with equality. It's socialism. It's just like taking power from others that they view as the ones with it and trying to acquire it for themselves, because their whole worldview is separated into two groups of people, haves and have-nots. And if you're a have, you're a bad. And if you're a have-not, you're a victim. And that's the only way to look at the world.
Yeah, don't go to uni.
They can't victimize people. If people are constantly in a state of victimization, they will grow weak and dependent of someone else to help them. Look, when a person is bullied or mistreated and thrown down to the ground, that is not always a bad thing, because it builds character, builds strength, allows them to get up and be better than what they are, stronger. Those aspects have to exist in a way, because through adversity, humanity grows stronger. If we had gods around constantly helping us with every single problem we had, then we would be a pathetic species.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. Because I do believe in God, on that one stream, I got kind of funny with culture, but like how people say, well, why is the starving kid in Africa? And I'm like, well, if there are no consequences to actions, there may be some uncomfortable consequences, but there are human beings who all make decisions who led to that too. So you have to go to all of them who all made the decisions to lead to whatever negative consequence that you're blaming God on. There must be consequences, or else there is no free will. Therefore, everything doesn't work. And I don't think these people want free will. It's almost like what Loki said in Avengers. Like, these people want to be ruled. They want to be controlled. They want daddy government or daddy whatever to make all the decisions for them.
Yeah, hey, Fenner, I think something's up with your mic, brother. I'm hearing a lot of feedback, like a lot of clicking.
Yeah, I'm kind of babysitting right now for a baby, and I'm kind of trying to make it sleep faster.
Okay, you can mute if at different times while you're like moving if you want to.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know. I'm
my bad. I understand that you don't really have a mic set up. I think you're just doing like the headphone thing.
But I wanted to go back to the college thing, because it's something that RR pointed out about this modern society and what you're saying, how they put that idea in their head about going to college and this, that, and the other. And there's a lot of criticisms about what's taught in college, and I really think it's very valid. There's a good documentary I just watched called No Safe Spaces that was Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla made. It was great, really insightful, really kind of sums up a lot of this stuff that I kind of knew, but it was all put in one place. But what I wanted to say was, the left has all this kind of, free healthcare, free university. If you disagree, you're horrible, blah, blah, blah. How come when we talk about how much debt each individual is in, like with universities, and how much what it costs, how come we don't talk about how exploitative college tuition is by nature? Why is that? Why are they never in the crosshairs for just charging way too much?
Because level of pushing. What? Go ahead, Fimmer.
Because that would require a certain level of intelligence and the actual planning to explain. These people don't plan their attacks. They just scream with the information they have in the moment. They're not actual strategists. They're just loud adult children who don't think. They just do.
Yeah, it's impulse.
You can see failures.
Yeah. It's unsettling. I just think it's like, all right, look, I try to hear a lot of people's arguments and just kind of like understand the virtue in them, or like if there is something to what they're saying, just so that I don't, get dismissive. I don't like get echo chambering myself. So it's like, but I'm like, okay, if I'm going to hear your argument and understand, and like, I don't think you're 100% wrong, but it's like, how come you're not culpable in creating this culture of debt? You're not culpable in creating this dependence on this sort of institute. Like, no one even criticizes universities. It's like, why? They're so guilty. They charge way too much for social indoctrination. Like, what is going on?
And on top of that, one thing, and this is maybe a personal thing, I've always had a problem with forgiving debt, because not everyone can even go into debt for a degree. So now so it's like, well, there are certain degrees where the debt is worth it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If you get it, and if you're able to get a position, and I, personally, I was unable to. I was in a community college for broadcasting, ironically, and only went like a year and a half, and should have got it was a whole fucked up mess about me not getting an associates, but because I don't really want to get into it, even I sort of did. But like, I wasn't able to go further.
Mhm.
I didn't have the money, so I stopped, and that was
Mhm.
it. And so it's like, well, if I could, and I tried, like I just my credit was jacked up, so I couldn't get student loans. So that's it. That was the end for me. I didn't get a chance to get bailed out on, and I'm sure I'm not the only person in a similar boat who maybe just couldn't afford to go to college and either didn't want to or just couldn't do the student loan thing. And so now you're getting something forgiven that everybody wasn't even given in the first place.
That's what they say, right? It's like it's this kind of upper class that's getting this bailout. It's like not to say that it should have been that expensive, but the fact is, like, you want all this forgiveness. It's like for people that already kind of have money.
Yeah.
It's like that's a little weird. Like but that's kind of the left all over, really. I mean, it's like it's this idea that I'm magnanimous and I really care about all these different things, but it's like, yeah, not quite. You're pretty self-serving, and also you're using like minorities and oppressed groups as like a shield of criticism. It's like man, you kind of suck. Like I don't like your arguments, and I don't like how you argue them.
You guys, let me tell you something about debt. Out here in my neighborhood, let me tell you something about debt. In my neighborhood, there's this kid. His name's Yannick. He's pretty much a pretty good hustler. I always wondered how he always had money, and I one day asked him. He said, "You gotta hustle people smart, and you have to manipulate debt." He always says, "Never get in debt with anyone. Make others get in debt with you, and use everyone around you to make others also get in debt with you. Manipulate a certain person to manipulate another person to believe they can do something that will make them be in debt with you."
Yeah. I mean, that's the game. I mean, that's why bankers are the wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah. I think
That kid is. You don't know what's the ironic part about this?
What?
He's going to college to become an accountant.
Of course. Of course he is.
He can really want to do it. He can really do it.
I'm sure
he already has the mindset for it.
Yeah, some people just have the instincts. They just understand human nature. They understand the nature of money, of how, of people, human weaknesses. They just get it. Some people just get it right out the gate.
I really wish I did.
I helped save a lot of money growing up and getting a lot of it too.
I am definitely like a pawn.
Yeah, me too. And I really want to get out of that.
Me too.
Art says a lot of the professors today are so insulated in their own elite club that are completely detached from everyday people, just like politicians. Hence, the feedback loop in class warfare. Yeah, there's definitely been this. And then I like this one: socialism for the rich, capitalism for the poor. I think it's more of the reverse. The rich. Well, there is a bit of socialism for the rich because they insulate themselves to where they can't fail. That's why we have so many big institutions. That's why these colleges can't fail, so they can pump out information. I did a video about the U of M, or I think I talked about in the podcast. The U of M, they can make up language. All these colleges can come up with whatever stupid ass standard of how we're supposed to talk to each other, and that'll be what everyone at that college learns. You know what I mean? That's what they'll go on with.
You know what I think they did too? It was something that like most, what do you say? I don't know, like movements, but like, how people like try to make like Jesus cool, and it's you're just like, ugh, God, it's not. Yeah. They figured out how to make like their ideology cool.
Absolutely.
They made it cool, and I think that's the biggest thing is people now, they don't want to look like they're not with the cool kids. So that's almost their biggest strength right now is they have the community of cool, and they all say it and they all regurgitate it, even though, because contradicting it will make you look uncool and you'll get pushed out of the cool kid group. And I think that's probably their biggest success when it comes to this like propaganda war that we're engaged in. Yeah.
Rajesh brings up a good point that I could probably do. A lot of people have a poor diet too. No one could use their second brain, trust their gut as it's full of the wrong stuff. I know I've been up and down with the weight. I know when I eat better, I think better personally. And
sure.
And I think there is a lot to that.
You feel better.
You feel better.
You do.
And the neighbor sounds like Machiavelli. So a little Machiavellian, but it's also honest. I mean, and I also think that element of getting people in debt with you is a lot of why we have because a lot of times that whisper network element of how everything can get coordinated. They're not. A lot
That
of
is so fucking real, by the way. The Whisper Network stuff. I can speak just from knowing being in Hollywood. That is 100% a real thing.
So you talked about how, the pawn club, right? A lot of these people are useful idiots and they don't know what they're doing. That's why they can be caught out. But as far as the organizers, there are some strategists. They're using this organized chaos. And that's where you get into your Whisper networks and things like that. And they're the ones who are setting the table.
Well, that's why they accuse. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was pretty much done.
No, I say that's why they accuse people of things like dog whistles and all this stuff and all because that's what they do.
Isn't that a Marxist principle? Like a Karl Marx thing? Accuse your opposition of what you do?
Really? I don't know. I mean, it's what they do all the time. And that's why you're like, why would you think that I would ever do that? It's like, oh, because that's what you're doing. And you're just assuming that if you're doing it, I'm also doing it.
Just discussing projection. And some of that, I think, is a principle. And you guys watch foreign dub movies. I don't watch foreign dub movies. Anyone else?
I do, sure. I mean, I haven't, but I have. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't recently, but I definitely have watched like plenty of foreign movies. I mean, some of them are amazing. Like, I watched the TV show Kingdom on Netflix, which is that Korean zombie show. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard about that actually.
Phenomenal. The only issue I just think is nowadays we're so like ADD that if you're watching something subbed and you look away, you miss something. And that's kind of a commitment nowadays, to just stare and not move like the whole time. But if you can push through, some movies are wow.
Everything they project, they're guilty of.
I agree. I agree.
My bad. I'm back.
Hey,
What I missed?
We were just talking about a bunch of stuff. We were talking about socialism, capitalism, how
college,
how college is a scam. Not really there's usefulness to it, but just how that and how this brainwash people, just how this brainwashing is work. We were getting into the Whisper Network stuff, or just the huh? What?
About dub movies.
Oh yeah, because
sub movies, yeah. Well, that's what I want to watch. Dark, but I just every time I'm like subtitles.
Oh man, the left.
I'm starting to try and learn French just to watch a couple of French movies.
After Perrin, the answer to that question, he said, the empowerment of the left by big tech and corporations is the issue. Why are they doing it? That's the bit they don't get. The answer to that question is a very dark answer on why they're doing it. It's social engineering. Plain and simple.
That's what it is.
Anybody here watch boring ass Wonder Woman 84?
I did.
I did.
Oh, Lord God.
Hail Lord God.
Hello.
Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Better now.
Chilling.
Glad you can make it.
I just went through a agonizing fantasy hockey draft whereby
Did you win something or did you lose them all?
Well, I picked 10th because so there's like 16 of us, right? That's old friends, my brothers, that kind of thing. And so I got to pick 10th because I actually made the playoffs last year and finished 6th, which was respectable. But it's pretty tough to sit there for like 20 people and go, oh my God, I got to pick. And then you look at the people around that area of the draft and you're going, who am I going to pick? Anyway, it's a lot of fun during the season, but the draft can be pretty agonizing. But thanks for the invite. I appreciate coming on.
Oh man, I appreciate
it. Here, Vigilante.
Yeah.
Now that the three of us are back together, I want to ask a question. Can we finally do the subject of future state?
Wait, hold on.
Future state. We got people requesting Wonder Woman 84 in the chat.
Yeah, that's what we have to. We gotta.
So if you guys, we can talk about that after. I mean, because I had my subjects, but I knew I was thrown out, so we already kind of covered them anyway. So yeah, we can talk about Wonder Woman 84, and then if you want to get into future state, I'll bring something up. And so, did everybody here see Wonder Woman 84?
I didn't, but I'm behind it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so you should keep it that. You should keep it that way.
Are you okay with never seeing the movie?
Yeah. My mind's still processing the fact that Wonder Woman raped the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up, there's no doubt about it. We are all in agreement. Like that guy was totally greatly kidnapped from us.
Oh,
it's pretty horrible, right? I mean,
someone brought up the thing. Say Superman did that. Say Lois Lane came back in some other woman's body, and then all of a sudden he's laying in bed with that. It's the same thing.
They would destroy the character. They would burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens to the vessel when Steve, whatever his name, leaves? It's just like, what was he like in some kind of limbo the whole time? Like, was he like in Being John Malkovich, where he was just trapped in the head and just had to watch it all go down? Like, what? Like, that is a really crazy thing to write.
I think it was kind of a whole thing. He saw everything but couldn't do anything.
Let's not forget that Diana is incredibly strong, incredibly tough.
Yeah.
She's into lassos and she's into manacles and BDSM and whips and chains kind of thing. So I would be very surprised if he didn't show up in the alleyway there after Steve took off and was like, "Why am I hurting so bad?"
Yeah. I mean,
What are all these scratch marks and
Where did these bruises come from? What the?
What's this lasso doing around my neck?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that a butt plug? What happened to me?
Man.
And why is it vibrating?
There's so much. I'm the only human on earth that likes it, but it's become ironic. It's become pure irony at this point. Like there was this movie has heart, but now it's and it's not like an exciting like I've compared it to Batman and Robin. It's not the same visual, exciting gag, but it's one of those things where it's hilarious. It's so hilarious.
I'm disappointed we didn't say 120 minutes of Gal Gadot running around in a miniskirt and a tight top, and that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Wonder Woman. All kidding aside, I wanted to see Wonder Woman. I didn't want to see Diana and Steve doing their romance stuff and this weird side quest with Cheetah trying to figure out what's going on and kicking the crap out of homeless guys. And I didn't want to see this whole story with Maxwell Lord and
random dude had his own life. Like he had his own life. Like aren't people that are related to random dude like worried about him? It's like, hey, random dude, where'd you go, random dude?
He actually has a camera.
I love this.
Right.
Everybody walks outside, sees Diana sniffs. It's my figure smell like your foot. Not only that.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I can't be the only one that's a huge problem with the whole Wishstone plot, right?
Yeah, I thought that was dumb.
I mean, it has a lot of flaws. For example, what if someone wished another thing that someone else had, or wished for the world to burn and explode, or wished to have superpowers, or wished for dinosaurs to come back to life? It has a lot of consistencies. I mean, if that happened to the real world, it would have already been destroyed in seconds.
That's what I said. And the other thing too, I was like, so you're gonna ask people who whose spouse was like dying of cancer, or they were born without legs, and that was their wish, was to make sure that their husband didn't die, or they could finally walk. You're gonna ask all of them to give back their wishes because you say everyone has to do it to make it better? Like, what? How?
Yeah. Here's a sick question. If little Bruce Wayne, let's see the time, he's probably a kid back then. Little Bruce Wayne had that situation, asked for his parents to come back, then he's going to have to say, Mommy and Daddy to die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a terribly written. It just sounds like a terribly written, terribly conceived film, and I just don't understand how people at that high of a level can fuck up so bad.
They think we're idiots.
Also, when they did so good with the first one,
right?
They think
they hired it was the director that wrote this one, right? Patty Jenkins wrote this movie. And
she wrote it.
Somebody else wrote it. One thing I wanted to have this.
Jeff Johns. Yes, it was. Jeff Johns.
It's credited as, because Comics was talking about this on FNT, and he was talking about it actually on the stream I was on with him. It's credited to Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns, but there was another guy, and I cannot think of that guy's name, who also
Jeff Johns, who writes comics.
Yeah, I guess they came up with the story, but the other guy really fleshed it out, and he just kind of, because they didn't really.
Dude, but the unions are so weird. Like, you can write on a script and not get credited for it. But like if it's like you didn't impact like a certain percentage of the script, like you can come in just for tweaks and you can come in just for story. Like they write by committee a lot in Hollywood, and you'll never know because the guild's like rules of how you get credited are very specific and complicated, and it it's very hard to know who actually did write something. When you see something as convoluted and kind of inconsistent as something like this, you can pretty much just assume it was written by committee. It was an executive calling all the shots, and they just don't really know what they're doing.
I think the screenplay was originally written by David Callahan, I think it was.
Yeah.
Callahan, because I think he's the guy involved in Shang-Chi. The guy who is doing the screenplay for Shang-Chi. So there's a lot of that cross-pollination in the movies that are going on in Hollywood right now with the superhero stuff, because he's got a history of writing some screenplays like Godzilla and stuff like that. So I think that, yeah, he's part of that too, but I would be very surprised if he was in the end game for writing this. I think that we know who was the people to blame for this. Patty Jenkins, Jeff Johns. Like Jeff Johns has got he's 0 for 4 or something working on screenplays and Hollywood movies.
What's
I have
a lot of TV shows.
I have an issue with his comic writing because a lot of people say, "Oh, Jeff Johns, he's such a great comic writer." Well, there's a lot of stuff he's written that's been pretty crappy.
I'll admit there is a lot of crap he's done. I'm a fan of his, but there is a lot of crap he's done in the past. I'll admit it.
Yeah, I think he can write a good story. I mean, some of his Green Lantern stuff is pretty good. His Justice League stuff, not so much. But I like Stargirl, and I know he was involved deeply in Stargirl, and that was a pretty good TV show. So,
who's the producer and the writer?
What's that? I'm sorry.
The producer and the writer. He was responsible for all the. It's thanks to him that everything was as good as it was. Literally, the accuracies, not making it super woke.
Right.
He was the one who made sure all of that was on front.
Right, because he had a lot of his fingers on the Justice Society background stuff. I know that. I can tell. I can see his kind of writing in the background, and which was good because I enjoyed Stargirl. So, you do good, you do bad. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm looking at his credits. I mean, I actually, funny enough, I actually auditioned to be the Flash for the Flash TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, for
that fucking script was garbage. It was written so poorly, and then I watched Arrow, and I'm like, this is the show. I was like, this is staggeringly bad. Just unwatchable in my opinion. Not woke, but just terrible.
Yeah.
And that's Jeff Johns. That's what he creates. I'm like, if that's his pedigree, then he sucks.
Yeah. Rajesh is on fire in the chat. I wanted to say this Me Too thing because I don't know if you guys heard the story about Me Too actually being a scam. All that money didn't go to Me Too.
I heard about that. Of course it did.
So I had to touch on that. And this is a huge thing. Nobody want to work with toxic production teams. The result is only those who follow the anti. So basically, the only people who are going to work on these teams are the people who are in the cult.
I can speak on that first-handedly. I know plenty of people in my community where it's like the second they note that you're not 100% on board with the cause, you are written off.
They should do script treatments with in line with the damn budgets. 200 mil and no one caught on to this is going to suck. That's also interesting. If you're going to put $200 million into something, why don't you want it to be good? Why aren't you going over the script? And then Rajesh,
Vigilante, you can exactly blame people that gave the money. It's the people they chose to direct this stuff. The people they choose to write. It's their fault because they are driven by an agenda. Instead of wanting fans to watch the movie, they want people on Twitter to talk about it in a way that has nothing to do with them gaining any form of money or respect.
Do you know what I think happened?
What?
I think that what happened in this case was we had a good movie. The first Wonder Woman was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was probably the best of the superhero movies from DC that they put out.
I agree.
My wife loves it. My wife is a 1970s Wonder Woman fan. And that was a movie she made me go see. And it was a superhero movie, which was extraordinary, right? She loves Wonder Woman. She's got statues. She's got underwear. She's got whatever. It's a big thing, right? And that was a great movie. So then we come to the second movie. Now, Patty Jenkins is saying, you know what? We had a great movie. But the people that were behind her in the first movie are now gone. And also a lot of Hollywood, a lot of executives are looking at it saying, Patty Jenkins, you know what? You did a great job for us in the first one. You've got full autonomy in this. So when you're the writers and the screenplay people are working on the plot, working on the story in the boardroom, right?
Yeah.
They're all saying, okay, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. But yet Patty Jenkins, Jeff Johns are saying, no, it'll work. You go your first draft, you have people come in, you get your first round of people watching it, and then it bombs. People are saying, no, this is awful. Your plot lines are terrible. So it goes back for reshoots. Now the problem is all those reshoots. I think they made a better movie because there's some good movie in there. There's some great plot points. There's some great ideas, and it's Gal Gadot and it's Chris Pine. As much as I hate the reboot of Star Trek, I like Chris Pine. I think he's a great actor, and they have chemistry.
Good.
So you have the chemistry, you have the cool characters. You've got Wonder Woman, and you've got Gal Gadot, who's one of the most beautiful women on the planet. She's tough. She's strong. She's one of those women that you believe could be Wonder Woman. So you do your research. You do your shoots. You come in and you say, well, you know what? This has got to go out, but there's still weaknesses. I think they just pushed it and they forced it in there. And a lot of people in the boardroom and a lot of the writers who are trying to make this better were just bullied into just going with this. Because there's some weak plot points that would have been fixed, I think, if there would have been some better writers in that writing room. But what can you do, right? I think they had a lot of pressure from up top. I think they needed to get this out. And Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns, they had the egos to push what they wanted, and they thought it was a good movie. I honestly, truly believe that when they finally did the reshoots and pushed this out, they thought it was a good movie.
That's cool. I can't believe the reason I cannot believe they thought it was a good movie. I can see them thinking it's a watchable movie, but this movie, one of the biggest weaknesses to me was the editing. So if what your theory is, if that's correct, which it very well may be, because there were reshoots, then they had over a year of this movie being in the can to properly edit, to properly tweak it to what it could have been. I mean, outside of CG was obviously a huge issue. Am I? Because it almost sounds like I'm double, so I'm not sure where the echo is coming from.
I heard a little bit of echo.
Yeah. Do you have your chat, or do you have the regular page up on YouTube muted? That's what I do. Is I mute the page so I can watch the chat, and then I stay on StreamYards.
Yeah, that's how I supposedly have. I'm just trying to make sure I don't, because I'm boomering shit up, so I have all other windows up.
I do hear the echo.
Yeah, I do too. We can mute our mics one by one and see who if it's coming out.
Okay. But I think it is me. So let's try something. Okay. That's still here, echo?
No, that's good. Oh, wait.
Not
yeah,
here.
I think somebody's playing it in the background. That's what the echo is.
Slasher? Is it you, buddy?
Wait, I'm not playing anything, but it might. Am I echoing?
You're not, but when there's talking coming through. There's like a little bit. I don't know if that's you or Fen.
Wait, hang on. Let me see.
All right, I'm gonna talk. I don't
Go
hear
ahead,
it.
boss.
Wait,
I do not think it's me. I'm in a very big room with almost nothing around. It's not me. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you sure? I thought I just heard it when you were talking, but maybe not. Now I don't hear anything.
I'm about to mute Finra and keep slashing. All right. And I still don't hear it, but
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh well, it's all good. Yeah, I think you're right, VW. I think that what they had to do here was just push it out because I think they ran out of money. Honestly, it's a $200 and whatever $1 million budget, and I just said that I think they got to the point where you got to put it out. And yeah, I think that they thought they had a good movie. I don't think they knew that they had a great movie because there was a lot of backroom stuff that we heard about, right? So
yeah,
it depends on what you mean by that because I've written a lot, and it takes a lot of self-scrutiny to write something good. And you need to take hard notes and you need to look and like re-examine what you're doing and push forward and really go for like a great goal. Something that's kind of like a bigger than yourself when you're writing. And I think these people that I know of them, like we have like they're woke, they're social justice, like they live in their echo chamber. if they're going to get all this positive feedback, if they're going to get like just, oh, you're a genius, oh, you're a genius, like that is usually the kind of thing that stifles creative progress. And if you're already the kind of person who like the smell of your own shit, and now on top of that is all this unbelievable praise, I think it probably was just like short level of commitment. Just like, oh, I'm Patty Jenkins, I'm Gal Gadot. This is gonna, not her, but like I've got Gal Gadot. This is gonna work. Script's fine. Let's just move forward. They'll buy whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was pulled by ego more than a pursuit of perfection.
Oh, ego's a big part of this, man. Ego's a huge part of this.
Yeah. Because when you said that, I thought about Max Visaggio. No, your boy Zach did a video a few weeks ago where I can't remember the original art. It was talking about this artist and who had he said something on Twitter about his editing notes. Like once he gets his editing notes, he'll be back on what he's done. And then Mags added, "Well, I've never been edited," and it showed that they didn't care about what you were writing. That's why you haven't been edited.
Right.
And there's a reason. And so I was going to go to not necessarily ego, but do you think there was a maybe political or maybe a combination of things of where if this was a different director, they would have went to Patty Jenkins, especially for this year. And as
Maxwell Lord was obviously supposed to be Trump, right? He was obviously supposed to be Trump.
I thought, because I'm the only person who liked the movie. I like Maxwell Lord, and I'm like, he's borderline the hero of this movie, let alone the fucking villain. So if you guys were trying to do Orange Man bad, you're so incompetent, you fucked around and made him the hero. And you criticize socialism because the whole point is he gives everybody what they want without them having to do anything. And the Dreamstone has tossed off or destroyed multiple civilizations. I'm like, are you guys talking about socialism? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys
are so meta.
They destroy themselves. They don't know how to do their shit.
See, the Dreamstone breaks everything, right? That whole storyline breaks the plot. There's so many things wrong with that whole wish giving, wish fulfillment. And there's nothing behind it. So what makes the decisions? I know that when Max becomes the Dreamstone, he makes decisions. He says, well, I'm going to give you this, but I'm going to take that. But what makes the decision to actually put that into fruition? What we've missed here is the true bad guy of this movie, because every single one of these characters is not the bad guy. We don't have a bad guy. But I think what would have fixed this easily would be, even if it's a shadowy, feminine figure in the background saying, you know how when they're reading the books, they're saying, well, this is the god or goddess of mischief. Well, Cersei is her big bad. Like, why, if you're going to go through having Ares in the first movie and the second movie is all of a sudden you don't have a big bad, you have Maxwell Lord, which is not Maxwell Lord, by the way. From the comic books, this is a terrible interpretation. And then you go, so what if you're looking for a trilogy here and you want to do 3 movies whereby your big bad gets more and more powerful so that the character's journey, that hero journey, it's like you do your Star Wars, your Empire Strikes Back, your Return of the Jedi. That's where in the last one you defeat the really big bad and then the universe is safe or the earth is safe. And I think they missed an opportunity by going, you did World War I, damn, World War II is right there. Or even the Vietnam conflict or Afghanistan or any of that stuff. Why do 1984 where you're not going to use any of the cool music?
Because 80s, man. All you got to do is just slap the term 1980s on it and boom. It doesn't even have to be like exact. All you got to do is just slap the name 1980 on it.
Yeah, there was totally a modern G-Wagon in this movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
You wouldn't be able to do the Afghanistan thing because apparently because of the parts of reality that they showed up in the movie, they're calling her a white savior that went to a country full of Muslim people with stereotypes of evil Muslims. So now the backlash is terrible. I mean, I can't be the only one seeing this. We no longer have an actual story with a superhero that just brings up a villain and it's just evil for the sake of being evil.
Yeah.
I know that you can give a character background and reasons, but I miss the days when we just had a supervillain that just showed up, the hero went down, beat him up, him in prison, and went out for another adventure. I miss
I
those
think-
days.
It's like what Thoth was saying with the comic books. It's like those stories worked. Like you can go back and mine them for ideas and create a script that works with a supervillain that existed in this comic line. Like I think it's just they probably have never read them.
No, they
Probably
haven't.
not.
You know,
Okay.
it's like Patty Jenkins has probably never read it. Maybe like a handful of issues of Wonder Woman. I don't think she's like gone back and really studied the lore and like really got to know what the soul of it is. So it's like I think it's just a whole problem. It's just this complete lack of respect. It's like Hollywood didn't treat comic book movies seriously until they started making billions of dollars, and then even then they kind of fuck it up a lot.
Oh,
It's like-
because they have to get their own grubby paws and remold it.
and they look down on it. They don't respect
Yeah.
it artistically.
No, they don't. They
And
love
so-
the money they get from it, but they don't respect it.
Exactly. So it's like you see that. I think this is like one of those really egregious examples where they think anything they touch is gold, and they didn't do any work to create any kind of parable inside of the established lore. And then
It should be required that the makers of these movies read at least. I'll say, all right. I'll even like dumb it down for them. 5 issues. 5
Look, they
issues.
don't read
Why wouldn't you want to hire the person? Like, if I'm writing a comedy show, I'm not just going to hire like someone who's in the industry. I'm going to find
Yeah.
someone who loves and is passionate about
Yeah.
comedy. Get them
Yeah.
in there. Why would you not find like a Kevin Smith or like someone like that who's just crazy about comic books, like Brian Posehn? Like, get these guys in and have that, and then you've got the best chance for the movie to be successful. It's like it's so contradictory from a logic point of view. It's staggering. And it's not surprising, and it's still dumbfounding every time it happens.
Did Kevin Smith have something to do with the Daredevil movie, the Ben Affleck Daredevil
I
movie?
feel like he
Was
did.
Kevin Smith involved in that?
I don't know. I've heard rumors. I don't know.
Kevin Smith is a guy. I think he's one of those guys that's similar to Zack Snyder, where they're big fans of comics, but their ability to they have issues as storytellers.
I mean, yeah, I think Kevin Smith's career is really inconsistent.
Yeah. I had to
Yeah,
get
he ain't that great.
there's some stuff in the chat that's pretty awesome. So
Yeah, I think Antiquarian has a good point there that Max Lord is the only one that had an arc, which is true.
yeah, that's
I mean,
why he's my favorite
That's
character.
hilarious.
The second part, Diana carry on being an incel, that bothered me. How the
Yep.
fuck is this hot woman basically an incel? She's sitting there at the bar, hot as hell. Nobody comes up to her, and it was really obvious. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? She
They
hasn't
do
fucking
that.
80 years. Are you fucking kidding me? That's bullshit.
They do that all the time.
well, not just any guy coming up to her. It could have been a woman too. She is from that kind of a culture. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do that all the time. They take like liberties with reality, like we were talking about. Like I saw a short film like in this like festival in LA, and there were people in my school that were there, and I was like, yeah, I really like that film, but I didn't believe that really gorgeous girl would have been working at the DMV. And they're like, why? And I was like, it just doesn't. Why would she take that job? It's like, what? You don't think she could do it? I'm like, no, I think she wouldn't do it. She's beautiful. She doesn't have to do a job like that. She can go have a life outside of that. And they were horrified, completely offended at that concept. I'm like, what? There are pretty women in this room. None of them work at the DMV. There's no reason for that. Like, what are you guys talking about? And they do that all the time. It's like, oh, those things aren't real. It's like, it's not real when it suits your agenda, but I'm telling you, it's fucking real.
Like J-Lo playing a maid.
Exactly.
So ridiculous.
It's like there are women in those positions, but I mean, come on.
I don't know. She looked pretty hot in that outfit.
You say that we just moved, and even though they didn't do anything, but like I didn't move, but I had to move my mom out, and like we hired someone to clean up the house, so because it was leased and everything. And the one of the ladies was pretty cute. She wasn't J-Lo hot though. She was cute though.
Yeah.
Does anyone also think that J-Lo has cleaned up anything after herself in fucking over 20 years?
I think she was a damn fly girl.
That's
She
right.
clean shit. Nor has she.
She's got to keep that booty in good shape, man. She
That's
must
the
be
only
doing something.
And she does. I gotta give her
Yeah,
that.
she takes
I know, but you think she could even be bothered to grab a can of Lysol and spray
No.
something down? And help.
Is she still dating
She
Ally
probably
Rodriguez,
she
incredibly rich?
like doesn't know what it's like to touch a roll of paper towels. She just has.
Isn't
so
she
much
married
for
to
her.
A-Rod? I think she's
Big-
married to A-Rod, isn't she?
Yeah,
Are they? They're engaged, or I don't think they're married yet.
Well, I
think
know
they're
he
still
gave her a
engaged.
big rock that was about the size of the moon. So yeah,
She's been through like mad dudes. She
uses husbands like toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
man, he's
well,
making
man,
a
I
huge
wish I
mistake.
could be like drunk 3PO there and set her up so she could come on my live stream, man. I'd get.
Man, I don't know. Did you make like $500 million playing baseball in your career? Because if not, I don't know if it work.
Yeah.
Let me
Not
check
more
my
than
bank
that.
account. There's a few less zeros than that. Yeah.
See, I don't know.
think he-
Before J Lo, he had Tori Wilson. I prefer Tori Wilson.
Oh, that is.
She's a wrestler. She was a wrestler. Then she was an actress, but she didn't really go anywhere.
Well,
She was
pretty
just a hot chick. She was really hot.
But she's like, I don't know. She looks like one of those like Florida trophy wives, like really plastic and like. I mean, I'm not saying she's not hot. Wow, she's gorgeous. Holy shit.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Tori Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I take it back. She's gorgeous.
yeah. Best comic movies are the ones that the director did their homework and paid homage to the history of the character, while also putting their own unique take on it. Respect for the art is a must. And here's the only
Wait,
pushback.
there's an amazing comic book story that if it was turned into a movie, it could do everything just way fast, explain the characters, show who they are, their backgrounds, and do everything perfect. Justice League of America, New World Order. The one with the White Martians. It was a pretty good story. It made Aquaman into a badass, and not just a guy who can talk to fish. It showed Batman who he was and how he could kill about 4 Martians off screen with a can of gasoline and 3 matches. It was a good storyline.
I mean, it can be done right. I mean, if you look at the movie Dread as an incredibly faithful adaptation to like the character, Daredevil's TV show, Punisher's TV show, like it.
People shit on the Watchmen movie, but the Watchmen movie was very, very, very close to the comic book. If you read the
Incredibly
comic
faithful.
book, it was very, very close. All they really did was delete
It's almost
the kid
fake.
reading the comic book is basically the only thing they scrapped from the movie.
Yeah, but they tell the story though. Like he's still like
A little
The suits were a
bit.
bit different from the comics.
Well, it's kind of funny you used Watchmen as an example because I think that's a great movie. I actually enjoy it, and I know that
Yeah,
the
I
fan
do
base
too.
is quite split on it because
There's parts of it I like, parts of it I don't.
yes, I don't like the end, and I don't like
Yeah.
a little bit at the beginning. A lot of the action scenes are great. I think that it's and as a huge fan, I'm a huge comic fan, obviously, and as a huge fan of the comic, yeah, I can get where a lot of people don't like it, but yeah, I think it did the best it could.
I agree with that. I think the Watchmen comic book should have been translated into a mini series and not a movie.
Yeah, it'd
But I
make
also think
more sense.
I also think the Watchmen movie was what began this greedy and weirdly trying to be badass thing about they started the whole fad.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you, buddy.
I
What'd you
think
say?
Watchmen started the trend.
Started
Yeah, I think-
fad about
Oh, there you go.
Trying to make everything dark and gloomy.
Yeah, I think. Well, it started with the Dark Knight. That came right after, so really, Watchmen was already in the work.
And
before.
Batman Begins is where it really kind of
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, Watchmen was not very successful.
It was not, and I remember seeing it in the theater, and at the
And
end,
it was
the
it was
ending
hyped
really
up as
bugged.
all hell too.
Yeah.
Super high. I remember watching that in the theaters, and when I saw the first half, I was like, "This is great," and it dragged in the middle, and the ending, I was like, "Man," because to spoil it for the Watchmen, and some people make the argument that the comic did it similar. I mean, obviously the mechanism was different, but I'm like, man, you're really not supposed to know whether or not Ozymandias' plan really worked. You're really supposed to feel like, did this guy just fucking kill all those people for nothing? To
Yeah.
me, at the end of the comic, and they made it like, well, I guess his plan worked. It's like, nah, you're supposed to. They do have a conversation at the end.
Sure.
They switched that, and then that just those subtle things, like you ruin so much of what that comic is about.
I
Yeah,
only
you're on
ended
point.
up-
I agree with you 100% there. I agree with you 100%.
I only ended up reading it. It was probably maybe about 3 or 4 years before the movie came out.
Uh-huh.
It was I had never read it, and my friend had the complete series, He lent it to me, and I read it. I liked it, but I honestly, the end of the comic did piss me off. The end of that comic pissed me off.
Yeah, but
I liked it overall, but the end pissed me off.
Everything else about it's really faithful, though. I'd never read it, and I just read it recently, and it was so faithful. It was so faithful. I was like, I don't even know if I need to read this. Like, it was so like it was almost like frame for frame, like with the comic book to the movie. I was like, wow, this is remarkably well adapted.
Well, they did miss an important part: the space squid.
Yeah, it didn't have a squid.
But they just changed it to a nuclear bomb instead of a space. I mean, it's kind of the same idea.
Yes, there was no space squid and no kid reading the comic book at the newsstand the whole time.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that would have added onto it. Rajesh shared a link, but I'm looking at the YouTube. It's not there. So, Rajesh, I know you're mine now. I'm sorry, bro. Now you have the possibility. If you could reshare that link so I can actually click it. I would love to know what the hell they're talking about with looks like
I pulled it out of the you can pull it out of the StreamYard chat. I did. I just like copy and paste.
Okay.
But I guess it's someone's hot take. I have an ad blocker up, so it's only letting me read some of it. But it's someone's hot take about Grease, the movie, is racist, rapey, homophobic, and slut shaming, and that should never be shown on TV again. Say woke snowflakes. I don't even know what the point of view is. This person, like, are you on their side? Or are you off their side? Like, what are you saying?
Okay, copy.
I think Grease was an amazing movie.
I haven't seen Grease.
Was a good movie.
I remember it being good.
I have a huge grudge against Grease.
I don't like musicals.
Yeah, I'm not a musical guy either.
So, it's not even me not being a musical fan. Just Grease. Like I have a huge beef.
I'm reading the article and I still don't know what the hell she's saying. Like, are they saying that like who are they? Oh my god, there's so many ads on the Daily Mail. What a shit website. But they're saying like, is she mocking them for saying that, or is she on their side, or I don't get what she's pointing out.
As you read, and I'm trying to pull it up now. There's also the fact of like these companies just need content. So Daily Mail needed someone to write an article. And so therefore, here's this crazy Grease article that does, and this is 4 hours old. So this is a recent thing. So now I have it pulled up. So let's pull it up. I actually also have future states if you want to touch that afterwards. Pull it up. So let's get this going. There's going to be a ton of. I'm trying to get these fucking ads. Jesus, I don't have an ad block. I don't have an ad block, but there's fucking videos and shit.
It's horrible. I put it right back on. I don't care if I can read this article or not. Fuck you.
This is like the 90s when you used to get those crazy pop-ups and shit.
I'm saying.
Fuck me.
Yeah, really. Get out of here. All right, fine. Your article is not that important. Like I don't need to read it. Like
Jesus.
It's like torture.
Yeah.
And that's when a slut is a slut. Let's just be honest about that.
Man, not slut shaming is ruining society. There's a hot take on that, but enough controversy. Enough controversy for one day. We'll that'll be a future episode of the Brave and the Bold or Vigilante Williamson show.
So I just don't understand. So this person is reporting on this, but then she calls them woke snowflakes. So are in her eyes, are these criticisms valid, or what the hell is she getting at? Or is she just like laying this
so fast?
I will say one thing about Grease.
Yeah.
So my grandmother at the time, when I was a young man, she wanted to go see this movie because she heard, oh, I like musicals. I like music. Let's go to that. So I can't remember when it came out, but I must have been like 9 or 10 years old. And we went to see that, and halfway through, she wanted to drag me out of there. She's saying, oh, this is pornography. I can't look, they're kissing and those tight leather pants. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and I'm like, no, Gran, I want to stay and watch this. So that's a good memory. I was getting some good memories.
Grease was a real TNA fest.
It was.
God.
Good times.
I'm reading through this article. It is a fucking mess.
It's a mess.
God, just
Grease
ignore.
is-
This is,
Grease is the only one. Something. Is it just normal world crap, or is there some kind of weird magical crap in that we are not understanding the plot? I'm sorry, I don't remember it correctly.
It's some idiot who was probably born in 1990, got a job, and was like, I just watched Grease for the first time today, and I'm offended.
But that's not even her point of view. That's what's so weird about it. She calls them woke somethings. Like,
I'll tell you what this is.
Okay, thank you.
This is the evolution. So Tim Pool has talked about this, where the platforms and the algorithms start influencing how content gets made. This is data driven. I have to go back up. This is not, whoever wrote this did not write this. This is data driven. That's why it's so weird. There is no receipt of this outrage at all in this article. At all.
Receipt? What do you mean?
Like anyone, there's not even a tweet saying this is racist. There's no one saying, there's nothing to back up any of her claims. It's just some say. But as you said, she's going against it. So this is the evolution. They just want clicks, and so they don't want to be woke, but they don't want. There's no one who's mad about Grease, and instead of just doing the usual thing where it was like, oh, let's just make it's all racist. Well, let's say that people are saying it's racist and saying that it's woke. That's the new thing. This is what we just seen in 2021. We're witnessing the evolution live of clickbait, of professional clickbaiters. Now they're trying to play both sides. That's what this is.
Yeah, okay. It's just people chasing shit. All right. Clout chasing bullshit.
And there's literally if you Google it, there's not a single other article having anything to do with people saying it. It's just the Daily Mail put that out 3 hours ago trying to get clicks, which they did, and now we're talking about it. Yeah. But it's not even like she calls the author of this article, calls them woke snowflakes. It's like, wait, are you seriously saying that the Daily Mail is taking a stance against this kind of woke propaganda? Is that what you're insinuating with that title? Because I'm fairly certain you are an incredible perpetuator of this shit.
Did anyone see this stupid bullshit from a few months ago? That I actually made a joke about this probably about a year or two ago to my friend, and these idiots made it real. They made it real that both Alien and Predator are racist. They're racist depictions.
I want to know why.
Did anyone?
No. Why are those movies racist? Please inform me so I know who to hate.
I know it's hilarious.
Well, it had something to do with the jungle nature of predators and the way they.
Wow.
I believe they even threw the dreadlock thing in there.
I knew it.
That's like an Olympic gymnast of stretching. That's
Go ahead, Fimmer.
You heard about the new apparently trolls and goblins are a code for black and Jewish people. I don't know where they got the Jewish people and goblins, but
you said trolls is
black people, the goblins are Jews.
Trolls are goblins. I haven't heard that. Who?
I haven't either.
Trolls are black people, and apparently goblins are Jews.
Jesus. So these people are so fucking racist. There's no other word for it. Because
that's what I'm saying. If you look at a predator, right, and your first fucking thought is, this looks like a black person. That's a you problem.
Yes.
That's a problem with you. That's not a problem with anybody else. That's a problem with you if you see that. Are the problem.
Here's a great example of that. I watched Bright the other night, and I love Bright. I think it's an awesome movie. I think it's super underrated. I think it's a really brilliant evolution of the fantasy genre, putting it in the real world, making it gritty. It was very clever, very unique take. There's problems with it, but well, hold on one second, Fender. And it's a really sharp take, but people didn't like it because they're like, oh, well, clearly the orcs are the black people in this. No, they're not. There's
Will Smith is actually black.
Yeah, there's black people in the movie. it's a collection of a lot of different cultural like expressions, but it's still talking about inequality, but it's not making a direct parallel like that. But that's how they see it. They have a problem seeing the world in these real and genuine grays and kind of like off depictions. Like they think in a binary way, like those are black people, you're racist. Like that's how they see it. It's like you're fucking racist.
Exactly.
You're the one who made that leap without any explanation. That's where it's like they're the ones, they're fighting their own mind by saying all this shit out into the world.
Projection. It's projection.
It's complete projection. It's complete projection. It's like they're uncomfortable without like someone telling them exactly how to think about a thing. They're like,
wait, what I also think it is. I think it's these people have some skeletons in their closet and they're trying to atone for their past.
100%. They said racist things or had racist thoughts or still do, and they're fighting it like by being so overly, what's the word? Overcompensating.
Trying to atone for their past sins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Somebody had brought up The Rock because we earlier in the conversation talking about PC. I thought when he came out for Joe Biden, there was like a, hey, Rock, we have that tape. You don't want that to come out. He looked like he was under duress in that video. You know what I mean?
You know what my favorite part of that though was the comments. Every single comment was Trump 2020, Trump 2020, Trump 2020.
I didn't even bring myself to watch that video.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did that. Everyone likes you, Rock. Don't do that.
You would think just never know.
Why?
You would think him of all people wouldn't have to pander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need you to do that. It doesn't convince anybody.
It's a double car to get out of problems when it comes to race.
Yeah, I think that my theory is that he had little something, his own demons or whatever, and they were held over him for that. But yeah, there's definitely that skeleton in the closet element.
That's what it is. They probably have like really intense thoughts that like, you know, they can't reconcile anymore. So they go really hard the other direction because they're terrified of them, of their own thoughts. So they're terrified of being seen as something horrible or racist. It's so pathetic and transparent and juvenile.
Yeah. And they've made racism like this thing. Like, goodness gracious, I'm not saying there was no racism because there's been tons of racism.
Lots. Still is.
And I mean, yeah, I lived in Michigan. Huh?
Mainly done by them.
Yeah, but I mean, even before the woke, I mean,
there's always going to be racism.
Yeah, there's always going to be tribalism. There's always going to be an other. You know what I mean?
They confuse
the thing is, racism is not a one-way street. Like people act like racism is a one-way street.
Also, the things they call out a lot of times are not racist. It's just generalizations.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Not the same thing.
Like, that's exactly what I was saying with that predator and alien thing. It's like, are you serious?
They did the same thing with orcs, and apparently trolls and golems. They're doing the whole fantasy genre. Apparently, they're just going to go and ascribe a different race to, whoa, that's race, or this is.
Like that World of Warcraft shit with the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
There's some World of Warcraft bullshit going on about orcs.
D&D.
What's D&D?
D&D. That's what it was.
Because then apparently they changed like the race.
Oh, good God.
Like in Dungeons and Dragons, like when you create a character, you have like certain racial abilities. Like elves are good at tracking and shooting bows. It's just like natural. Or orcs have these like different things. Like they're not as smart. But they're like brute strength. They changed all that.
Yeah, I think I touched on it in an early video about just how. In an early video I was talking about how that and Uncle Ben's and what else? I had your mama like you're more racist by changing it than keeping it. And I went through the history of some of the characters and just how orcs, like their thought was, well, orcs are stupid, like you said, they have lesser intelligence, so they're depicting black people. I'm like, so what are you saying about your?
Yeah, exactly.
Just some guy's video on that has got to be about the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Lord of the Rings, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I did see that video on Lord of the Rings. It's pretty great.
Crushed it.
When they started taking away the all the food product stuff, the best thing I saw was about Land O'Lakes.
Did they take away Land O'Lakes too?
No, the Land O'Lakes is still in existence, but they got rid of Indian
American
woman.
girl.
They got one of
Yeah.
the woman.
And this is what. So I forget where I saw. It was probably on Twitter. So it's like, okay, so they kept the lamb, but they got rid of the Indian.
Yeah, exactly. Did that.
That's funny. That's a good joke.
Yeah.
But Rajesh, to your point that you said earlier, or no, just another retro said, sorry, scratch a woke male feminist, find a creeper. You're goddamn right, dude. I knew this kid who was in like my little actor
Male
circle.
feminist.
He was a female. He was a filmmaker, and he would always spout that woke feminist shit all the time. He was like white guilt, all this shit. And I would disagree with him, but like I wouldn't really get into it because I don't get into it with those people. But I was just kind of like, I don't like that. And he would get hostile, if he even sensed you didn't agree. Bro, fast forward to like 2 months later, I have a Halloween party at my house, and my roommate is this really tall, statuesque black woman. She's very sexy. And so, she draws male attention. Dude, this kid creeped on her so hard the entire fucking night, like following her around, giving her such an uncomfortable vibe. And it's like, yeah, motherfucker. That's why you say that shit, because you're the creep. You're hiding. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, bro. Yeah.
Remind me again, she was hot, right?
Very hot.
They're just trying to get some through pity.
Yeah, through pity. And you listen, man, you'll never get pussy through pity. I've never.
Like, do they think like being woke, like if someone actually calls themselves a male feminist, do they think it's like a pussy debit card? Like it's gonna work?
Yeah, they do.
Really?
I think that's
I
what
would
they
have
think.
thought the opposite. Like, I mean, that's like an anti-pussy. Like, you'll never get
It
pussy.
is, but that's what they think it is. Like they think they're like, look at me, girls. Look how sophisticated I am.
Yeah.
It's like pepper spray for pussy.
Yeah, I've never seen it work.
Here's a
We're talking about pussy.
It's like I was saying before, man. The loudest
Hey, Colby.
voices usually have. It's like I was saying. Usually, the loudest voices are the ones with the most skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. Although as I'm thinking about this, like, there's a lot of hot chicks out here that I know that like fuck soy boys. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there is.
Yeah.
It does work sometimes too.
It does work. But
Yeah.
but there's broke soy boys. If you're a soy boy in a Maserati, it doesn't matter.
You gotta have some other kind of objective quality too. You can't just be like a little creepy bitch.
Yeah. Sorry, Clementines. Yeah, Brave and the Bold. I'm just calling the show Brave and the Bold out of the Batman concept of having guests.
Yeah, when I saw that title up there, I thought you were gonna throw some shit in there about that.
No,
I got a lot
Hey,
of those.
Clobby. Hey, Clobby. Check out the little figure right beside VW there. See there's the Brave and the Bold.
yeah, it's got Batgirl, and then there's Batman hanging, which you can't see because.
And by the way, Batgirl is a ginger.
yeah,
Please keep her a ginger
Yeah, right.
forever.
Oh, look at that.
there you go. You can't see him. Fuck it. Okay, fuck it. I failed.
I like that. That's cool.
But yeah, I do have the Batman thing. You can see Batgirl, but there's Batman hanging, and I don't want to
Cool.
fucking worse. But yeah, the ginger. Yeah, because they made James Gordon black in the new Batman. So
That's right. Yeah.
But you know,
So is she adopted now?
Well, you know what? You know what I would like to see? There are black gingers. I grew up and I knew
True.
a black
Yep.
ginger. I would like them to, instead of blackwashing the ginger, have a black ginger.
Is Blake Griffin a black ginger? Would you call him a
I
black
think
ginger?
he kind of is. Yeah, I would consider. Yeah, there's
I
a
think-
perfect example.
And
I
think
went to
Malcolm X-
school. I went to school with the
Mixed.
black albino. This dude was legit a black albino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I think you were talking earlier about the Batwoman movie and how they're having that beautiful young black actress play Batwoman with the red wig. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's weird.
yeah,
and
but no,
there's
I think
also-
they're going to change it out.
Isn't she going to be wearing a red wig?
She starts off with the red wig, but I think they'll change it out as it goes. Clementine hates Funko Pops. Yeah, I'm not a big Funko Pop.
Yeah,
I'm like-
I actually hate those things too much.
I am so middle.
I love action figures. I love
Oh, I
toys
have
and
action
shit,
figures.
but
That's what I was trying to show, and I had them hooked up here, and now I'm going to unhook them because I actually have.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen some
Adam
Funko
West
Pops that are
Batman.
pretty funny. Oh, that's dope.
I have Adam West Batman. I have Robin and the Caesar Romero Joker.
Wait, could you big
That's
screen
awesome.
that, Adam West? Could you
Yeah,
big screen
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That looks great. That looks.
Yeah.
It is a
That's
really good
that's
one.
dope. That's
I have
dope.
here right now. I have 2 Funko Pops. I have the Mirror Spock Funko Pop, and then I
Yeah.
have Hal Jordan Green Lantern Funko Pop.
Okay.
And right now they're right beside my brand new Ahsoka statue. Love Ahsoka, and my Scarlet from GI Joe. So, yeah.
Hey, Rajesh is leaving.
Okay,
Go.
Rajesh, man. I appreciate you. If you haven't subbed, please do. Stream's
Later,
been great.
Rajesh.
Good to see you, buddy.
Rajesh,
And
Happy New Year.
Site, hopefully, you're a mod, so that should, it does post on YouTube.
Yeah,
Cool.
I just pulled it up. It's it's that German movie he was talking about. I guess about World
Okay.
War II. Interesting. I like the Funko Pops. I don't know if I find them cute.
Some of
I think
them
they're
are
cool.
funny. Some of them are funny. All right, he's not really my friend anymore. This dude I used to hang out at his house, but
He's a piece of shit, I know.
he had like fucking over. He had to at least have like 300 of these fucking things.
See, no, that's too much. No, that's not.
I'm
he
not going
had,
to like 7.
That's a
he
lot
had
of Funko
Rocky and
Pops.
Drago.
7, cool. I just ordered since I found out that this thing can, like, I can adjust my little to kind of go back close up, not because I'm a narcissist, but like I can fit a Funko Pop there, and not as I have Batman sitting. Now that I know that, I ordered a couple just to switch out. I ordered a Cara Dune one and a Grogu one just to switch
What is
out.
that
I was
Adam
kinda-
West one? What is that?
Yeah.
What company made that?
Ooh.
Is that DC Direct?
I want to feel like it's not. I can't remember who I got this from. I would have to check my Amazon history. It came out as a pack with Robin,
Yeah. Okay.
and I
I was
cannot
kind of
remember.
wondering what Batman was doing there. He looked like he was fapping there beside.
That's the problem. I don't know how to put him. It does look like it.
Well, it was
Batman.
that's Batgirl, right? It's Barbara Gordon. I mean, geez.
Yeah. He's not going
Her
to.
statues are some of the best, man. Like Sideshow has, I think they have 1 or 2 that are just amazing, but they're like $700 US or
I was
something.
just about to say that. I haven't gotten into the Sideshow or the Hot Toys. Oh man, thank you, just another red shirt for modding and
Oh,
putting
yeah.
these fine
Thanks, dude.
mistakes in there. Please do so. If there are any mods, please do, because this is my first time hosting a show, so I'm not doing everything, trying to keep up with the conversation and everything else. Please subscribe to Matt at Fireball. He's
Thank you, sir.
great.
That was kind of a tag you're it, wasn't it? Tag you're it. Hey, by the way, just another red shirt.
Vigilante, you kind of hosted last week. That was kind of hosting.
Yeah. Well, last week I don't even remember. I know we were on stream for 6 hours. I remember talking about Evil White Food, but it was a blur.
But you had a guest, so it's kind of hosting, right?
Yeah, I did host with you. It was me and you, but now it just seems like there's more guests.
Oh yeah.
I didn't do a good job hosting at all. Like we just talked. I didn't put anyone's links. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Everyone on chat keeps everyone on the panel keeps talking. Everyone in chat keeps going. It's fun.
Yeah. As long as everyone's having fun, I'm having fun.
It's skills. Like we were talking about that. It's like how it's like you have to kind of really develop that ability to like look at the chat and talk and respond and listen and do all this stuff. Like it's it's something that we're all working on. We're all fairly new.
Yeah, but I mean I think everyone's fairly great. Slash and McSplitter is great.
Thanks, Red Shirt.
Yeah,
I just gave you a sub there, bud.
Fireball.
Oh, me? Oh yeah. Thank you.
And we had Phil. I'll put his link back.
Vigilante, I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss break.
Okay, yeah. And then I don't know about ending. I know. I mean, if anyone gets tired, because I'll go probably too long at times. So I understand if people get tired. We've gone 2 hours so far, and I mean it's up to everyone. Fibber obviously is not even a creator. Now you know why Eric K has so many wrenches. Yeah, Eric K is the wrench king. I always call him that. And I appreciate just another red shirt. You are not just another red shirt. You are the red shirt. You're not just a wrench. I mean, you seriously are the red shirt. Yes, Parrot Head. I am a boomer. I mean, I'm not. I'm technically a millennial, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, boomer. So Clyburn Science says Mattel made this. It's okay.
It's a good one.
Clobber Times said that Mattel made it. Mattel made it.
Yes, yeah.
Because Klobby is right on. He's spot on.
Yeah, and that's you mentioned the sideshow. That's the thing with the really expensive action figures and statues. I just cannot. I cannot I've justified some purchases I shouldn't justify. I cannot justify that yet. I don't make enough money to where I can spend $300 on a single action figure. I just can't
really.
$500.
I mean, I'm not judging anyone. It's just that doesn't interest me really much at all. I mean, I don't know, like I like some stuff like that. Like I have a bunch of like magnets from locations that are in the real world from Fallout New Vegas on my like refrigerator, and I love it. Like I love when I see them. Like it's just fun. It just kind of like warms me up, you know. But I don't know the other stuff. I don't know. I guess I have some of it. I'm not judging it. I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't action figures. I don't really understand them as an adult.
I go like
They're just cool pieces. I don't know. I'm not anywhere near Gary, where he has like the whole war. I don't have that much, but I have a few. Action figures. Where the hell?
I should dig out all my old Star Wars stuff. See, I put it all away. When The Last Jedi happened, I was so mad. It all went into boxes and bins, those plastic bins that you throw shit in.
Still talking action figures?
Yeah, I've got a lot of the old classic.
Yeah, because Slasher has cool stuff.
Yeah,
we showed it in the last stream actually.
I still have my old AT-AT too, although it's missing a bunch of parts and it's in pretty rough shape.
I know what you mean though, Thoth. Like I stopped wearing like my Star Wars shirts and stuff like that. Like just because I was like, I'm in protest of this whole thing. Like I don't want you to get the impression that I like any of this shit. You know what I mean? That I support any. I'm like, yeah, it's a protest the whole time.
Yeah, but yeah, action figures, they're just a fun thing. I get, everyone's into them.
I have 2 fucking Ziploc bags of the Kenner Star Wars ones.
Are those the classics?
Yeah, the original Kenners.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yes, I'm into that. That's pretty cool.
These are all the Stormtroopers I have.
Wow.
Let me make them big. What am I doing? Fucking up the whole world. That's what I mean by production.
Leia here. This Leia is all fucked up.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Stormtroopers. Fucking Chewbacca. None of them have any of their accessories. Well, Bib Fortuna has his trench coat.
Are those original runs, like from the 70s?
Yeah, these are the Kenners, the original Kenners. I got
Wow.
Off Leia.
Oh, wow.
Wow. As I'm saying that, I'm like, that would be cool to have.
Yeah, but I know those even in those conditions, even unpackaged, are still pretty.
Boba Fett, but he's missing part of his hand.
I don't care.
He's missing.
Oh my God.
Even though he's doing the we're gonna get the stream kick.
He's doing this.
He looks like a Nazi salute now. It's like, oh, I told you he's all right.
I told you.
Loose ass C-3PO. But
Oh, man.
it's still C-3PO.
Not drunk. This is sober 3PO.
But those are like
In recovery, 3P.
In recovery.
Snowstorm Trooper.
Golly.
Let's see. Memoriam Guard. A whole shit ton of these.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Barely any of them have any accessories, but
Man.
Do you know what I have too? I still have all of my old the Marvel superhero ones, the Marvel superhero figures like Magneto and all that. And I have my superpowers ones too. I had the whole collection: Doctor Fate, Green Lantern,
okay.
Good classical.
Right, you want to talk about kind of superpowers?
Yeah, there we go.
This has become the action figure stream all of a sudden. I just,
All right.
I have a lot of the Eagle Moss ones too, right? Those were some pretty good stuff.
These Kenner superpowers and G.I. Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Those are my three favorite figure lines.
Well, knowing is half the battle.
I told Perry, I said they're not getting a cent from merch. They're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. Here.
Good way to have, because actually that's another thing I want to talk about is as fans, how do we go forward with stuff? Because as this is kind of a way to spin into that topic, and then I want to touch future state before we get out of here. Not that I'm rapping about you. Ooh,
superpowers.
super dope.
Super dope, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Hawkman. Oh, and his wings still work. Awesome.
Oh shit, yeah, man! I used to have a
Hawkman's
fucking
wings.
Archangel, X-Men,
Oh yeah.
Wolverine would do the same thing. Golly.
See, Batman's arms don't work so good. His
Yeah.
arms don't work so good, but he's still in, he's still in minty condition.
My Hal Jordan Green Lantern's in pretty rough shape. A lot of the paint's off, and I
Yeah.
think there's been some.
I lost my Hal Jordan Green Lantern. My Hal Jordan got lost.
Still got my Dr. Fate in pretty good shape though.
Another one.
He still fights.
Okay.
Martian Manhunter.
Do you
still
have
fights.
Firestorm?
Yes, I do.
Firestorm was the bomb, man. I love that character.
I have almost half of the collection.
Wow.
Good times, man. Those are good times.
And yeah, 32 flavors of Nick Weiser. Slayer.
Oh,
Hey, Flava Flav.
hey.
Hey, you have access to the link, so if you want to hop on, feel free, man.
I haven't streamed with Nick. It feels like forever.
Okay, Lex.
That's
Man.
the power suit Lex, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Power
Yep.
Suit Lex.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you still got more.
and
I don't
he still works.
know. That's cool.
Batman's the only one that doesn't really work, but he's not scuffed
Yeah.
up. Because look, his arm barely goes up.
Still looks pretty good.
And I know Marvel tried to do that too, to try to copy that success, but their characters didn't have like motion action stuff. I have my Wolverine is. I think
Secret
I've only
Wars,
got
right?
one claw, but yeah, the Secret
Yeah.
Wars
Secret
stuff.
Wars.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Wolverine, the claw. There was like a little thing on the slide, and you could slide the claws in and out. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
you just pop it on. Yeah.
Here's my Secret Wars black suit Spider-Man.
That's
Ooh.
nice.
That's
Clean
pretty
cut.
cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I don't have the
So-
shield though.
I mean, action figures are just cool things. I cannot justify the multiple $100 purchases.
Don't buy action figures anymore.
Yeah, to get those in the secondary
No, they
market
don't.
now, I
Most
bet
kids
you're.
don't buy action figures, Fenrir. I know you've been having little audio issues, but I heard you, man.
I was laughing
And
at. So I was just laughing at RR's comment. Lol, slave Leia love doll. Yeah, like a Leia waifu pillow.
Waifu,
I
yeah.
wish they would have
Life-size
made.
love doll.
I wish they would have made a slave Leia figure.
I know, right?
Kind of
So,
like-
They
It
seriously
would
look like an elf.
have been perfect with the job because I have the Jabba playset still.
That's right.
Somewhere around here.
With
that would have
vibrating
went
action.
perfect with the Jabba playset.
No, Anthony Perrin. I mean, it's good. It's good where he is to recognize those ounce bag. Hell,
Yeah.
Is it
can't be around that stuff. No problem, man. Slayer and Hawkman. Okay,
Slayer and Hawkman.
we will reunite.
Combination. Slayer and Hawkman is a dope combination. I guess.
Sorry, I meant to get this one. I
Robin.
guess he's going to
Robin with the karate chop. Robin got the karate chop.
Okay. Oh,
Wow,
no, funny
really?
story about that Robin and that
Hilarious.
Batman. So,
With the karate chop?
That's
yeah.
yeah.
So when I was
great.
a younger vigilante, I was over a
Damn,
friend's
some of
house.
these are in. I got these off eBay way later after they came out. So some of them are
Okay.
in pretty good condition. Super bad.
Okay.
He's
He does it.
They're
So
running?
they just have an action to them. They're
Like
just-
one goes back and one goes forward. It's like he's running.
Yeah.
He's power walking
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
But then I also have the Flash figure where you squeeze his arms and his legs do the same thing.
Okay.
That's funny.
Tips at the splash some on the Unicron figure. You grabbing more stuff?
Oh look, here's a Swamp Thing figure from the 90s.
Swamp Thing.
You pull his arm out and then he does this.
Couldn't really see it.
Man, I miss those action figures, those times, the 90s, the 80s. Those were the true times to be a fan of comic.
Yeah, they don't. It's weird. All action figures are made for people who were kids
look.
in that era instead
Here's
of
the
kids.
He-Man figure. The He-Man figure.
Okay.
Beastman. Wait, is that Beastman or
Grizzlor. It's
Grizzlor.
Grizzlor
Yeah, for sure.
from the Evil Horde.
Okay.
Alright. Any G.I. Joe fans here?
I'm a G.I. Joe fan.
No one is half the battle.
No, it's happened. But I was a fan growing up, and I watched those little
Yeah.
Hasbro streams sometimes.
When I was a kid.
Okay.
Anybody remember this guy?
What?
Globulus?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I had the tank. I had the fighter jet. I had
Cobra La.
but that was a long time ago. I
Yeah,
don't have any of
Cobra
that
La.
stuff anymore.
They were the most fun to play with for me because they had like little spring action, like
Yeah.
rocket launchers and shit, and like lots
Yeah,
of guns, you know.
the toys and accessories. So like that's. I'm going to spin off of those
I'll
toys.
stop turning this into the action
I
figure
miss
show.
those days. Oh,
I like the action figures. That spins off to something I wanted to talk about. Like fandom is something you end up invested in, you know, either financially or emotionally, mentally. You guys talked about not wanting to have Star Wars memorabilia, or Matt said, I don't even want to have a Star Wars shirt because I don't want to be associated with what stuff is. Yeah, the
KK.
Farce of Weekends.
the Dark Kennedy creations.
Yeah, Darth Kennedy, Darth Kathy, you know, the Farce of Weekends, the Ass Jedi, and the Fall of Soy Woker, the Disney tragedy. But not just that, fandom in general. We talked about how wokeness has overcome stuff. I mean, to touch on the future state, I'll just show you. And Batman is my favorite character. So to see this is offensive. And you would think, oh, you're black and a Batman fan. This is offensive to me because Batman is Bruce Wayne. There can be a succession, and hell, if you wanted to make a potential, you know, like I don't know, like after Terry McGinnis, that guy is a black guy, cool. But outside of like Damian Wayne or Dick Grayson or later Terry McGinnis as a older Batman, there's no other. It's Bruce Wayne. Other people can have the title, you know, for different reasons. There was a good run where they had.
I don't believe anyone else can take the title of Batman instead of one of the Robins because that's why they were taken in. That's why they were trained to take Batman's place if he falls, or to take him down if he goes off the line.
Well,
Exactly.
also, I saw something recently that they decided to make Hal Jordan a black guy. And it's like, why do that? You already have Jon Stewart. There's no need to make Hal Jordan a black guy.
Exactly. That's crazy.
They're stupid. They don't actually care about the characters or the stories. That's why it's all dying.
As fans, what do we do about this shit? Like, truly, that's the real question. We're invested in this shit. We care about these characters.
You
but
vote with your wallet.
Yeah.
Vote with your wallet.
There's really not much we can do right now. I think the comic industry is dying. And that's what we've been doing. We have been voting with our wallet, and that's why they're getting desperate and they're trying to come up with these new things to try to get people back, but that's not working. And then they're trying to get that very nebulous, mythical creature called the new fan to come in, and it's ridiculous.
That phantom dollar.
The phantom dollar, that phantom customer.
Dude, but
If
what
new
you
fans join the list, it's only because their parents put them into this because they wanted to share the love with them.
But what you were saying, I don't want to lose that point because what you're saying, vote with your dollar. It's 100% right. That's literally the only power we have. I mean, that's why Star Wars is coming closer to what it should be because those things lost money. They were abominations. They were complete failures objectively from every way of looking at it. So vote with your dollar. Support independent creators. You know, like do the Ethan Van Sciver, like the Comics Gates, support those. You know, watch, like buy them. You know, contribute. And then I think what we're doing right now, coming on it and talking about what we like, you know, what we don't, why it's a problem. Like, I mean, the whole Fandom Menace thing. I mean, how much support did it rally? How much, you know, like codification of this fandom did it create? Because we were all independent, being like, this sucks. What's going on? And then we all realized we're together. So I think it's. Yeah, speak your mind and support and vote with your dollar.
Well, I don't even consider myself part. I don't consider myself part of any group like Comicsgate or Fandom Menace. I'm just saying I can see when shit is shit, and it's totally fine to talk about it. like all right, I was a big pro wrestling fan, and I've watched it turn to shit for like it's probably been like 18 years of shit.
I had to stop watching after it was this year or this past year. I stopped watching. I hadn't watched.
It's
in like 9 months.
terrible. It's terrible.
What's so
And
bad about it? I don't follow.
So, well, you were
Well,
wrestling.
ain't no crowd is a real big issue with it. No crowd is a big problem. You need a crowd.
Absolutely, that killed me. But
Yeah.
there were a lot of issues even without the crowd. The issue is
right. The people they push, the storylines they do, shit like that.
yes, that killed me. And then when the crowd was done, I'm like, I can't, because the only reason to watch it was not the same reason you probably started watching it. You started watching because there were cool characters, cool storylines, and they did cool things. The Rock was cool, Stone Cold was cool.
Everyone could talk. Everyone, if they were handed a microphone. Oh, Undertaker?
Just another red shirt. Do you have a link? Are you in the Jake D thing? Is he in?
Hell yeah, you can get in.
Yeah. So yeah, if you got a link, hop on.
It's in the Discord. Finally,
Discord.
Nice.
Man,
Finally, I can stream with just another red shirt.
And I cannot see the Discord for anyone who's like, "Hey, why isn't the answer?" Because I lost my phone before stream. I panicked looking for it. I just said, "Fuck it," I had to start. We're going in live.
Yeah, it's there. I don't see any new. It's very recent.
Yeah, it's in the Discord.
So can we get into this future state crap because I gotta go soon. There's
oh yeah. So yeah, let's actually break into the future state before I can talk a little bit more about what we do as
there's
fans.
one thing I want to talk about this first. Search for
Go ahead.
DC Future State Flash.
Oh yeah, let's go to the pictures. Do I have? It's flashing at the legs.
Well, there's two problems there. The non-binary one and this one.
Okay, just another red shirt. Hell, you're not just another red shirt. You're the red shirt. And you're on.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Greetings.
That is awesome.
I'm there. I got to get him. I had to get one tab muted.
Okay, I can't find the actual thing.
Hello.
That flash. But Finra, what was your point? Go ahead.
Well, the version of the Flash, they know this is a failure. Let's be honest. I can't say it's a failure yet concretely because we have to wait, read a couple of these, see if they're actually good or bad. But you have this vibe that they already know it's going to fail because they're trying so much to pander even more than the usual by saying we have a non-binary Flash, Batman is black. People don't give a shit about that. They give a shit about the story. Give us information in the plot. What's going to happen? Who's who in this? Why are they doing this? We need information.
Yeah. And that was really my what is the end game. We are voting for a Roberts. Gain 1 customer, lose 10, win an Oscar for sucking. This, that, and the third. We are voting for our wallets, but they're not stopping. They're still going to fuck our myths up. You know what I mean? Even if we ignore them, no matter what, they're still going to fuck them up. It's like, how do we stop this?
We can't. Well, we just have to maturely move on and accept the reality that we can't change it and that we just have to support the other things that we enjoy. And I think that's literally the only thing you can do because it's like, what are you going to invade DC Comics and fire all those? You can't. You just need to. It sucks. This is the reality. But it's like, just, vote with your money. Go to the places where we can get good entertainment.
Because
if we can't, we go independent, whatever.
Yes.
And comics are already going independent because they were one of the first to really start to slide and see this replacement of story with agenda.
I'm not into comics. Like I'm getting more and more into it. But like I didn't know that until like getting into like Gary and like all those like I was shocked. Like it is so bad in Hollywood. It's 10 times worse in comic books. I could not believe what that world was like.
Because all the writers of comics, the good ones, all want to go to Netflix. They don't actually care about the stories they're writing. They want to have a deal with Netflix instead of actually creating a story that has meaning now.
Well, several years ago, comic artists wanted to go to Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, Netflix is.
They wanted that was their stepping stone, and that was the kiss of death to the comics. And I heard hints of that before I started watching Gary, Nerdrotic, and I think the writing was on the wall for Hollywood because Hollywood was a little behind the curve on that, but it's going there. And yes, I don't know that anything is salvageable right now. I'm not even sure Star Wars is salvageable. Vigilante and I were on a stream a couple of weeks ago talking about the final episode of The Mandalorian. I was the cockeyed optimist in the panel. After watching this whole thing blow up with Pablo Hidalgo and Star Wars Theory, I think that it's far less likely that we're going to see good Disney Star Wars coming out of this, and we're going to get rid of the tragedy. I think
It's not
that,
just Pablo.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Everybody that works for KK and is an ally of KK is fighting to make that happen. And there's two guys, as far as I could tell, and I'm not sure one of them's really trustworthy.
I don't trust Filoni either.
Right. I don't trust Filoni. I trust Favreau. But the problem is that's one guy against an executive suite.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough battle.
And a culture.
Yeah.
It's
yes. Well, the only thing that gives us hope is that Disney. What hurt Disney was going from a creative culture with Walt and even with before
Michael
Eisner. Okay, so Eisner did his best to carry on Disney's legacy. He just couldn't manage it throughout his tenure. Iger, I don't think has a creative bone in his body. I think Iger has a calculator in his head.
Yeah.
And if Disney can show, well, if we go this way, we can make money, and if we go this way, we'll lose money. I don't think Iger is that ideological. I think he's going to want to make the money. That's the only hope I have. That's very, very faint hope, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, just being like solely for profit doesn't mean you're going to make good creative decisions either.
It doesn't.
At least you'll just learn from your mistakes better. Whereas like these people don't, because if they fail, if it didn't go the way they wanted it to, it's your fault that it didn't do that.
Yeah, it's racism, it's the phobism.
Right.
Oh, and I agree. That's KK, and that's Hidalgo. I'm hoping that Iger may if Iger gets in on this early enough and sees we still don't have a Disneyland, we have part of Disney World, and our operating expenses are higher. Mulan did not do the box office you promised us in China. That bombed compared to what we thought it would do. The forecasts were all way off chart. I'm hoping that that this may be the one time when that focus on financial results may result in a better creative decision, because that's the one making money.
I think that's what we're seeing with The Mandalorian. Even though like I don't love it, I do think they're trying to make it more about story and respect what came before it. I don't think they're crushing it, but I think that this is an indication that they're like, we can't just keep preaching at these people and demanding that they watch the thing. They're not gonna. We have to give them what they want.
Each with canon, it does the stories right. It's not perfect, but it's just good. It keeps.
At least
it doesn't
resemble Star Wars.
Yeah.
It doesn't insult you.
Doesn't insult you.
And it's a good enough story. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, this has fixed Star Wars." I'm like, "No, it hasn't fixed Star Wars. You have to fix all of Disney to fix Star Wars."
Yeah, you're fucking crazy. And quite frankly, I think you have to fix the prequels too. But I mean, obviously, I'm not going crazy. I just think it's like, look, we need to. There's a lot of stuff we need to get back.
What I think this is a good start. Now, keep it going in this direction. You've got a turnaround to do. But you're turning around an ocean liner. It doesn't turn on a dime. You've got to start the turn, then you meet the middle of the turn, and after the middle of the turn, you're headed back in the right direction. We haven't even gotten to the middle of the turn. We're at the start of it.
I find it interesting that every single pop culture conversation that we have always ends up talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I think we were talking about DC Comics, right?
Yeah, but there's a reason, wouldn't you say? Because at least there's some hope. DC Comics is, I mean, it's just another thing that you can crap on from a great height, because they're dying. They won't listen. Somebody listened at least with Star Wars. I think that's why. I'd rather talk about something that has at least a ray of hope.
I'd rather
Finn,
talk
what
about
you
something
about to
that's
say?
just completely good, like The Expanse. Like honestly, like I don't fuck with this bullshit anymore. Like you're not gonna torture me with your lack of respect for the thing that I love. I won't put myself through it.
Okay. I have a
Yeah,
question,
people.
Foul Ball.
Yeah.
Wait, Finn,
I watched The Expanse season 1, episode 1.
Mhm.
I couldn't understand about half the dialogue.
Oh, the
I
belt
couldn't
and rotor.
recognize a number of things going on. So I'll be honest with you. I watched the entire episode, and I'm not sure what the hell happened. Does it
I
get
think-
better after this?
Okay, so
Yep.
this is funny that you say that because I had almost the same experience. Like I started it and I watched it and I was like, I didn't have anything behind it. Like no one had sold it for me. I just came across it and I was like, I don't know, that was fine. And then a buddy of mine was like, no, dude, go back and try. And I was like, all right, I'll try. And now I kind of look down on you because I think your taste sort of sucks, but I'll try. And so I went back and I was just hanging out. Like I wasn't really like watching. Like I was like cooking while I was watching, but it was on, and I was getting into it. And it took till the fourth episode. The way that episode ends, I was like, I'm fucking in. And it took that much time to get there. But I do empathize with that. It's like, you're like, I don't know what I watched. I don't know who I'm watching. And I don't know why necessarily. I do respect that. I think give it to episode 4.
All right. I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I was like, I agree with Jake D. I agree with you. Most, if not all of it, most of the time. And then I watched this and I went, is this the same show they were talking about?
Yeah, I have to check out The Expanse at one point. Fenrir was trying to make a point earlier. What was your point, Fenrir? I apologize. I know it kind of went off The Expanse.
Well, it's just that I feel that we've all always lead our conversations to Star Wars because a lot of us are connected to that franchise. It's had a huge impact in some people's lives and how they think in this world. They say that how these things are depicted doesn't matter, but it's not true. It does matter because it shaped childhood. It turned some people good and it turned some people bad, and in itself is responsible for their futures. Just like for me, George has always taught me to be respectful of others, even if they're my own enemies. That's the same thing as Star Wars did. Keep your head open and always accept other things. And if you don't accept them, try to learn more about them. These franchises have effect and forever will have effect. We can't allow these people to destroy all of this because they want it.
Yeah, and I think that's why we still have to talk about it. Slasher brought up wrestling, and I know there was a huge thing with wrestling. Or if you don't like it, don't watch. And it's like, well, no, and then that ended up being what happened to me and some other fans. But it's like, well, it's not. I have to criticize it because I don't want to just don't watch. I want to watch it. I want this to be good. Because I grew up watching it, or I like the franchise, or whatever the reason, or I just want good material. That's why I understand why Matt said, I'm just going to talk about stuff that I like The Expanse. And even, I kind of want to get into it myself. I haven't got into it because it's like 5 seasons in. And I've heard that it takes a few episodes to get going, but I know it's something to watch and it's something to look forward to. And I do understand why there is so much of a push of the people who like The Expanse to get more people to watch it so their franchise could continue to live on.
It's weird. The show kind of suffers from being too good of an adaptation because the way it starts off, like the crew is segmented. Like you don't have a connection with them. Like you're not like in it with them. They're kind of like just surviving something, and you're like, I don't know why I care yet. And the problem is you don't. Like it takes a few episodes for them to really congeal, and then I think that's when the audience gets in on it. But because in the book, they do take a little time because they really are very patient with setting up the nature of the universe that we're depicting. And so it's almost like that faithful adaptation almost works against them in this case because it's just the audiences are like, I don't know. I think that's the biggest hurdle is the first like 3 to 4 episodes are kind of a little like, you're like, I don't know what I'm watching and I don't know who I'm following.
It's a slow cooker science fiction, right? You know how you have a slow cooker and you slowly over a course of hours it percolates and the meat gets tender and it becomes a really good stew and then it's delicious when you eat it. If you take the time to get through those first 6 episodes of the first season, you'll be a fan for life. And that's one of the problems with the franchise is because it's smart thinking science fiction. It's not just spoon-fed, simple episodes like The Mandalorian is. The Mandalorian is cookie-cutter science fiction. It's meant to be simple that everybody watches it. So you get the normies to watch it. You get the people who are going to come in on episode 1 and go, oh, okay, and episode 2, oh, okay, and they're going to like it. But they're not going to love it like they would love The Expanse. The Expanse is one of those things that makes you think, and that's why it's so exhilarating.
Takes a little bit of work.
You go through that roller coaster ride, that first season roller coaster ride. It's worth it to get to that end.
So worth it. Yeah, it takes a little work. You need to think.
You said like Doctor Who?
Yeah, because Doctor Who. Yeah, but I've said this before about whether I get into. Sorry, Hinder, go ahead.
No, as I and a couple of my friends used to watch Doctor Who because it was complicated. We had all the science and question we had to do, all this that I can't even explain why we watched it. It was so complicated that we loved it. And now with Jodie Whittaker, it's like they're just trying too hard to be something too big that it is. It has a certain simplicity in the past, but now it's just trying to be funny, action-packed, and crazy. The Doctor used to be those things, but they did it in a way that was what's the word I'm looking for?
Mature.
Yes, mature. This is just childish. They treat everyone like they're a child.
Yeah,
it's
the audience like that shit's stupid.
Like, just another retro. Have you ever watched The Wire?
I was just about to bring that up.
No, I didn't.
Bring that up. It's the greatest show ever.
It's probably the best written show of all time. It takes place in Baltimore. Its focus is on the drug trade, and like it's 50% of the time you're with like the drug dealers, and 50% of your time you're with the cops trying to break them down. But it's written by a guy who was a beat reporter in Baltimore for about 15 years, and another guy who was a cop in Baltimore for about 15 years. So when the dialogue that they use is how people in that world speak. They talk about all the different, like the technical stuff that if you don't know it, you're like, what the fuck is anybody talking about? Because like most TV shows, they spoon feed you like the way to get in. The way you get into that show is you just get familiar with the world by hanging out with it. So it feels alienating at first, but it's like once you get comfortable with it, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
See, I hadn't watched The Expanse, but just hearing that, I know one thing with a lot of series now. That first episode is like the episode. You know what I mean? That's it's important. That first episode, and because I remember like The Wire having a good first episode, it kind of left you like, whoa. And so I don't know if The Expanse does that, because that's a show that, like you said, it takes it rewards you for watching, but if you it could be well,
lots of stuff happens in the first episode. You just don't know why you care.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. You're just like, okay, but I don't know. I'm not attached to any of these people, so their struggle is okay, I guess interesting, but you just don't. You're not connected with it yet.
Yeah,
it's a lot like Blake 7. If you go back in the good old days of science fiction in the late 70s, and Blake 7 is the same thing, right? The first couple episodes, these guys they get captured. They're on the prison ship. It's like, why do I need to watch this? Why do I need to care? But if you get through a couple of episodes, you become attached to certain characters, the ones that really call to you and speak to you, and the story is so very tight and scientific. The science is good. The science fiction is fun. It's really worth it to go and watch the first few episodes.
I haven't seen that either, but I saw I think Clobbering Times. Was it Clobbering Times who did a stream on that?
Avon Lives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Clobby's still in the chat, but he'd appreciate that. Yeah, we've been doing a watch through. We're towards the end of season 2 now of Blake 7. It's one of those things where a lot of the sci-fi shows of the 80s and 90s took a lot of calls from. So it's worth it to go back. It's a good British science fiction show. Mm-hmm. Kind of very Doctor Who-y in a lot of ways, but not without the silliness. It's very serious science fiction.
I see.
How many seasons?
4.
4? Okay.
How many episodes exactly combined?
It's like 10 episodes a season.
40 episodes, I guess.
Oh, okay. 40 episodes.
Fenrir, it was your idea to talk a little bit about Future State. I did want to touch back on it to see if you had any other thoughts on the whole future state, or if anyone else had any thoughts on a future state at all.
Is the
Because-
Brazilian Wonder Woman 100% a lesbian? Let's just look at the stats. Most Brazilian or Latina women that are being done in comics nowadays that are attractive are always lesbians. Is she a lesbian?
I thought she was. I could have
Tell
sworn
me,
that was the
gentlemen,
whole.
do you believe she is going to become a lesbian?
Yes, obviously, because it's DC Comics, and that they have to they have to make everything. And that thing is crazy to me. Like, okay, there's no disrespect to the LGBTQ community. What is the obsession with making every character gay? Like, I know because of this is the woke points, and we get to use it as a shield for reason, and then you can maybe go societal or some masculine thing. But like, seriously, like, why? Why
You already said it.
Do the feminine gay kind of person. I'm going to say there's not a lot of gay people in Africa openly. But I've met a few, and none of them are like that. They always depict gay people as being crazy feminine, always getting sex parties and drunk. And that's not always like them. I met a few, and they're very orderly, normal. A few of them are incredibly manly and masculine.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said. It's like it's the woke points. I mean, that's what they're doing, and depicting characters as lesbians is a really safe one because it's not going to bother anybody. Like, no one's going to be like, it doesn't take away from their status as it was. Like if you made Batman gay, people will be like, what the fuck? But if you make like Wonder Woman or whatever, it's like, it's not a big deal because it's like, well, it's still kind of sort of hot for men. And then it's like, and it's a really safe choice to get all the woke brownie points that you could hope to get.
Can you cash in these woke points? Do they amount to stuff like? Can you go into
They have
like
social currency?
Can you go like But I'm saying, like, does it amount to anything? Can you like go into Walmart and get like $50 worth of ramen noodles?
You get included though. Like,
if you've collected enough woke points.
In Hollywood, man, it's that's the currency on which you can you build your career.
And then you show the cashier how many people like your Twitter post.
Yeah.
But
look how many times I trashed Trump. Let me get me a rank.
Yeah. How many Orange Man Dad posts did you have?
Yep.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I did like 350 just this month alone.
It's like, well,
Now,
you're
let's
a white
not
male, so
forget.
you're.
Let's not forget that Wonder Woman comes from a all feminine society, an all female society. So it isn't that big of a stretch to make her bisexual or gay. Once she gets introduced to man's world, absolutely she wants to experiment. So if you make the original Diana, the Amazon character who's lived hundreds of years within an all-female society, it kind of makes sense. And I'm okay with that because it fits with the storyline. But if you randomly take a character like Aquaman, for example, and make him gay or bi after he's had 80 years of history where he's been straight, he's had a queen, he's had kids, that makes no sense.
No, they should just make him bang fish. That's all.
But like logical storytelling aside, it's their weird obsession with it that I think is off-putting for everyone.
Yeah, it
is.
Obsession. It's like a rabid foaming at the mouth obsession.
Yeah, of depicting it in every way except the traditional way. And they're obsessed with it. And it's really weird because their obsession is what fetishizes it, makes it really like gross. And they're just
you're not wrong.
Creepy. It's creepy and weird.
Hey, quick question. Have any of you seen the new comic book coming out, the graphic novel, I Am Not Starfire?
I've seen
one of the most successful videos
ripping it apart. Yeah, I see people ripping it apart online. That's all I see.
Every freaking day, everyone's talking about it. It's just self-insertion in the highest of languages. The woman who did that is gonna write for Batman now. Detective Comics.
Yes, that's what I mean. They don't learn. They refuse to learn. It was literally the next week. Nope, she's writing Batman now. It's like, you guys are assholes.
You know what we should all do? What we should collectively do? I mean, the only way to fight them is to ignore them.
Buy the comic book and burn it at the same time in front of everyone.
No, don't buy the comic book.
You can't buy it. You can't
Don't
buy
give them
it.
the money.
Right.
No.
Don't give them the money.
Go buy back
Don't buy it.
issues.
Don't
And when
buy
they
it.
I'm not
keep,
gonna buy it.
You can sell the high
selling-
seas.
because they know, look, even internally in DC, like they know what they kind of know what they're doing, but they're selling controversy. Like these decisions get ink, they get press. People tweet about it, they talk about it. No press is bad press is their point of view, right? So they're like, oh, you guys hated that. Well, guess what? Now she's in charge of Batman. If we're all just like, yeah, okay, it won't matter. It's like we just don't give them the attention because that's what they want. They're just petulant children crying and throwing a fit. And they, it's like if we're just like okay, and we don't pay attention, and we go buy something else, we wait till the whole thing falls apart, and then someone buys it cheap and can be reanimated. It's just that's the only thing you can do is just ignore and support the good stuff.
It's also funny when
was
it's funny on one hand when they say, "Don't buy our shit if you don't like us," and then when they make $0 off of what they put out, they're like, "Why don't you like our shit?" It's like, get over yourself. Get over yourself.
Don't like my books. Don't buy my, don't like my
They
politics.
do. They say that, and
yeah.
then when they make no money off it, they bitch.
That's
It's
what I
like,
mean.
No, just
We don't.
Just
Because eventually it will be undeniable. It's just when we stop buying it and it doesn't make money and their little like tantrums don't get any attention, it will have to, like just by the nature of reality, it will have to eventually.
But it's like, it's like
It
when
has
you-
a DC.
When you put your thing out and you say to people outright, you won't like this if you are insert this. And then when you make no money off it, then you bitch. It's like you reap what you sow. So
Or you get what you fucking
shut the
serve.
fuck up. Yeah, you get what you asked for, right? Right? You get exactly what you asked for. So you don't get to do takebacks.
Yeah.
And it's coming.
Especially
I see it happening.
When your feet are so dug in the dirt about what you said before, and then the aftermath comes, just put your fucking
just think the
Kleenex away, shut the fuck up, and just
learn and grow like a normal person. And I think that the lessons that from 2020 are so undeniable that it's like, if you didn't learn from this year as a person in Hollywood, like you will be out of a job because everyone was home, everyone was getting free money, and they still didn't spend it on Mulan. They still didn't do all these. It's just like
they stopped watching football because
There's a whole Sarah Mueller shit.
Oh no, I didn't.
I
That
started
was
watching because of her.
but
She
yeah,
destroyed
that,
football for me.
Sarah Fuller or whatever that chick is too, that college shit kicker.
oh yeah, that was funny. Your
They
coverage of that was great.
her too, but just that they were doing a little BLM and all the other shit at the beginning of the season, and that season has still been down like ratings the whole year.
Yep.
You know they're gonna force people to not kneel in games now.
Yeah,
You cannot decide if you want to kneel or not. You are now forced in England. England has become a communistic hellhole. If you don't act via them or do their crap, they're going to put you in prison or literally enforce you to do their shit.
wow. Even the NFL eased up with that shit. Like the NFL is like, all right, stop kneeling during the anthem. And they do like,
yeah, they just stopped showing the anthem. But yeah, Fimmer makes a
yeah,
good
they
point.
did stop showing the anthem. I wonder what they're gonna do for the Super Bowl. That's what has me wondering.
But
They're not even going to watch
Actually-
people.
think about this: the Super Bowl ratings will be lower than they ever have been.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's
Follow
crazy.
ratings are
And
lower.
remember how much an advertisement costs for a 30-second spot on the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh shit! They're gonna get that shit so cheap these days now. They're gonna get those spots so cheap this year.
And that's an amazing amount of money that they're not going to get.
They were making so much money at one point that they literally wanted to charge their halftime performers to perform. Like that's how good.
And you
That's
think
how
about
good
this.
the NFL was, and now
It
it's
was
like,
a legitimate case that they were right to do so. Like, because it would be worth it if you were a performer to perform.
Yeah.
Why did they always choose such shitty Why did they hold
Janet Jackson-
shitty musical performances for a Super Bowl?
Because the game is for the guys, the halftime show's for the girls.
But some of that didn't even apply because they would get acts that were so shitty. It's like, who is this for?
No, I thought Tom. I thought Tom Brady being on the screen was for the girls. That's what I thought it was.
They don't care. I used to bartend Super Bowl parties, and every single one I had ever bartended, the girls weren't watching.
Yeah.
They don't care.
No.
Yeah, let's be honest. Things like sports, video games, comics, cartoons, they may have a little small of a female audience, but let's be honest, 99% or 90 or 80% are mainly men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And the super
it's
passionate
mainly
ones
men.
are almost exclusively men, and that's
Yes.
just what it is.
All right,
not-
Vigilante. I got a few other things I got to do. I really appreciate you inviting me on. I would love to come on again, and if you keep doing these on Saturdays, that'd be great. But right now,
Holy
thank
shit,
you
we've been-
all.
3 hours. Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
probably wrapping up. Unless you know what, how about that? Because if you, I'm gonna put it on you, and then if you want to give any final thoughts, and then plug your channel and plug anything, we can do that.
Okay. Final thoughts. As far as DC goes, we were talking about, I think they have already started. I heard something about they were laying off a huge number of animators. It is already slicing into the creative layers of DC Comics. If I'm remember correctly.
You're right.
Yes, some of this we're going to just lose. We're going to vote with our pocketbooks. We're going to lose that. It's never going to come back. Others, I don't think they've already destroyed it to the part where I don't think it can come back. Doctor Who cannot come back. There's no way Doctor Who can come back. It's done. They could wait 10 years, reboot it, and it still wouldn't work. So the BBC has killed that dead. Chris Chibnall has killed that dead. Star Trek, I just don't think there's anybody that has the vision that's required to do Star Trek, and they don't. And then people that want to do it for all the wrong reasons. I think Star Wars may have a chance, but it's a thin, meager chance to be hanging her hopes on. So that's why I can't get as excited about it as I would have been. I understand why people who just didn't get at all excited because I know where it's going. Well, yeah, because I know where it's going. They're either going to do that and die. That's going to kill Disney, I think. That's my call. Or Disney will finally figure out, we made a huge mistake in letting Kathleen Kennedy and her troops take over Lucasfilm. We can make money with Lucasfilm if we put Favreau in charge of it. And that's about the only hope I think they have. So, but that is the only power we have. We can shut down the people who want to smile smugly into the camera and say, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. I was like, well, nobody's going to buy your book because nobody's going to publish it from now on. So there you go. And it's maybe the best we can hope for, which stinks. But there are independent comics. There's going to be independent films. There is YouTube. This is going to become the replacement for reality television, for the people who just want to sit in front of something and see something where they have no idea what's going to happen next.
To watch a total train wreck.
Well, hey, but sometimes they used to sell tickets to train wrecks.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Reality TV is that train wreck TV, and that's
Yeah. But so,
lynchings used to be
not
used to be public events.
Well.
all over the world. It's like, hey, instead of going out to dinner, let's watch a lynching here in fucking France or whatever the fuck.
We can do both. We can catch dinner.
Well, they have Twitter. You could just watch the lynching on the phone.
It's like, oh, they're looking at their fucking pocket.
We've got
watch.
reservations. We gotta go.
Man, no,
All
Well, just another red shirt. I want to say
Yes.
it's an honor to be on a stream with you, man. This is
Oh, I don't want to
awesome.
watch the guillotine
Hey, Lord
drop.
Fuck.
You have a great perspective on things. I really like your perspective, especially as an older gentleman like myself. It's great to hear. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure, dude. I mean, I've always seen you like in the Discord and on the chat and all that, so it's a real pleasure to finally get to stream with you, bud.
Yeah, nice,
Yeah, likewise.
Nice talking to you, man.
Yep. Well, it was a treat.
I appreciate you modding too, because not doing a good job with that. I really appreciate everything. Like I said, you're not just another red shirt; you're the red shirt.
All right.
All right, man.
Take care of yourself, man.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I cut him out. That was me being an asshole.
Oh,
I'm a terrible host.
Does
I'm
he have
sorry.
a channel? Did he have a channel?
Did he have a channel that he?
I don't. I think he's just said he's working on one, but I don't know if he has one yet.
Because I searched him on YouTube, I couldn't find him.
Yeah, if you're still there, you are a mod. Put your link. If you can still put your link, for whatever channel and just work on it, and people will still sub.
He's got a great voice, man, huh?
He does.
Sounds like a man. Like it's like
A real man.
Yeah.
A manly man.
Manly man.
So I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go with Finra because I remember you said you had to go, and you kind of went. So, any final thoughts, and then anything we need to plug your channel? No, actually, put your channel up there. Go ahead, Finra.
Well, I believe DC is dead. Star Wars is dead. Star Trek is dead. Doctor Who dead. Everything died. I hope to one day be able to return to this franchise.
Yeah,
Because I
you
actually
can. I hope they return.
If there's an animator out there, please contact this guy who is directing the stream. He knows how to find me.
Yeah,
And
it's Finra.
to all those that I talked to in the stream, it was an honor to talk to you. One day I hope to have my own channel.
Remember that. Yeah, I'm trying to put the link. I'm boomered it up because that's what I do. Accidentally put your link in the private chat.
That's
This
fine.
is the link. This is Finra's channel. Please check out Finra. He doesn't have any content yet, and we gotta, we gotta do something about the mic. We gotta either figure a way to get you a good mic or get you a solution. Because I think you're just working off your phone. There are options that we can get you a solid mic even with your phone.
Yo, my buddy Lindsay, I used to stream with her. I got her a mic on Amazon for like $20. It sounded great.
Yeah, we got.
Have access to Amazon.
It wasn't much at all. It was very easy fix.
You said you don't have access to Amazon. We'll figure it out. But yeah, and yeah, if you guys could put your links in the private chat so I can make sure to post them. All right, Finra, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, it's always an honor to talk to you. And Lord Doc, same thing for you. You're both great voices to speak to. It's always a good conversation. And the two new guests, it was amazing talking to you guys. Fun, energetic. Hope the best for every single one.
Yeah, man, appreciate that.
Thanks,
Have a happy
Fenrir.
New Year.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
always
good-
great
good
chatting
talking
with you. I love your voice, man. I love your perspective. It's good. And we need to talk more about DC Comics and the downfall of what's coming.
Oh, I know. I intend to. Because new generations are going to lose so much. That's why I'm collecting all my other little comics. Safe for my little comics. Especially the little baby that I have here. It's, they need this.
Yeah,
10-4.
yeah.
10-4.
The younger generation definitely. That's why I like having you on. He's only 18, and
Oh, wow.
he's a kid. Yeah, and he already has 3 seasons of his TV show. That's why we said something about the animator. If anyone knows any animators, we definitely gotta figure, or anyone in the animation trying to get started. He's a good writer. He has a cartoon he already has written.
Oh, cool.
Or at least a comic book artist to start maybe a comic book or something. Just,
Yeah.
Fenrir, if you want me to take a look at the script, man, I'd be happy to do it.
Oh yeah, he would be a better because he sent it to me, and I'm not as good of a judge.
Yeah, I know structure and stuff pretty well. So if you want me to take a
I'll
look.
send you a link through Discord.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Vigilante, send me a link to Discord. You know
I'll
what?
link-
Send,
What did you write it on? Did you write it just like in Word or whatever?
PDF.
He had PDF.
No, I mean what like because there's screenwriting programs.
Oh.
Yeah. I use the screenwriting program.
Okay, cool. All right,
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but
We'll
please
figure a
do
way to
not-
look it up. Huh? Oh, you said don't share it with anyone.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
You're not sharing with no one. You have
Don't
to
you worry
swear the heart of
No,
God
dude,
or
you know what?
the
You should write up an NDA for people and like send it to them. Yeah.
No,
Just
not
protect yourself. Yeah, it's smart.
I have
It's
no
just like it's a
Um,
non-disclosure, like just proof that they read it and that they. You should. I'm not kidding. You really should. It's a smart thing to do. Just protect your ideas.
Yeah, and then you can do it. There's a legal zone. Now that you mentioned, or not even legal zone. Just look online for like a blanket NDA. You can copy and paste it. I don't know what the laws because he is in Angola, so I don't know about the international thing. Which
Oh, I don't either.
What time is it there?
or you could. Or you can also just register the script with the Writers Guild of America, and I think that's universal. That's international.
Yeah.
So that way you're 100%. That's like $50 or something like that, and then this way you're protected.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
why I keep my story short, so no one can have the eyes on it and steal the idea and say it's a creation. That's why I
Yeah,
keep
that
it-
happens a lot. So
Yeah.
Vigilante
unfortunately.
was shot in the dark, but I trust him because of his mentality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I had said, I did not mean to do that. I meant to turn the camera on. But yeah, I'm not a good judge. I liked it, but I don't know structure. I don't know. I can't give you any critique personally because I don't know enough about script writing to know. But I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. Especially, I thought it was good. And it was just a pilot, and apparently there's more written. So I didn't see all that.
Okay,
Cool.
then Vigilante, just give my link to Football Productions or join them into our chat group or something so we can
Yeah.
change.
cool, for sure, dude.
All right, man. Peace.
Okay, then it was an honor to talk to you. Peace.
So I'll talk to you, man.
Have a
safe,
good
man.
one.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
New Year.
man. I did. Oh, we got in the private chat. We got people's links. Yeah, I appreciate people's links. So, I guess like any final thoughts on anything that we've talked about, and then I'll go through you guys, and we can wrap up the show. Just to like,
Just thanks for letting me come on. That's
Okay.
about all I have to say about this.
yeah, I think in general, like, because it was a lot we talked about. I think the theme of, because I had the question, what do we do as fans? I think comic books have kind of shown the way, because now comic book fans are just back issues in indie comics. They're not even giving this future state the time of day anymore. And I think you're right, that is the way to do it. Unfortunately, it won't save the myths. And I think you're also right. We just have
Well,
to.
not yet. I mean, it's not like if DC goes out of business, like then the properties are destroyed. It just
So
means
the properties are just going to be saved for movies, TV shows, cartoons.
or
That's
the
all.
price might come down, and then another company can buy it and revitalize like what it was. You know, it might just be a timing. Like that's why I don't think like we should. You know, it's I don't know. That's why I just think like supporting what's good and ignoring what isn't is the only real route to go.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, I guess I'll get through everybody and then wrap up. So let's start with how about Lord Thoth? You win.
Hey, I get the short straw. That's cool.
Yeah,
no.
You win.
Seriously, man, this has been awesome. I really appreciate your voice. I appreciate what you've been saying out there. You've been putting out some really awesome videos, and it's funny how we all have a different opinion, and we all certainly have noticed that a lot of us came down hard on Wonder Woman, but you saw the good in it, and I really, really love that. I think that your channel is going to take off here because this stuff like this is just awesome. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. It's always great to chat with everybody who's been here today. It's fun to meet new people. We had Fenrir already. We chatted the last time. That was awesome, especially considering he has a young voice. And that's kind of what we talk about a lot, but we don't actually hear from that voice. So having him come on and give his perspective is awesome. And of course, it's just always a pleasure to chat with Just Another Red Shirt. It's great how we've been all part of the Gary's kind of inner circle for a while now, and his voice is another one I really appreciate because we're around the same age, so it's always good. Foul Ball Productions, what can I say, man? It's just been a hoot. The Expanse stuff that we've done, all the chances we've had to chat, man. I really appreciate your perspective, especially considering you're in hell itself by living in Hollywood there. So hearing you talk about the town and everything you've gone through as an actor and stuff is just outstanding. So yeah, it's just it's a fun thing to come on here and chat with all of you, especially about the stuff that we love. So thanks, VW, and thanks to everybody, really. And the chat too. I can't forget the chat.
Hell.
Man, that was so on fire. I feel bad that I wasn't able to highlight as many comments as I wanted to because there was just some really fire stuff. So
And
thank
I'll
you.
tell you what, when we got to see some action figures from that new gent that I just met today in this live stream, that really brought me back,
Yes,
brother.
Lester Splitter
Oh,
had
that
a
was
lot of
awesome.
cool
Oh
stuff.
yeah. I love action figures, man.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. It was great talking to you too. It's your
Nice
perspective
meeting you
is
too,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you too, man. Like you said, I always like talking to new people.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
See, this is why I can't do shit. I boomered up putting Fireball's link so much as delete this. Sorry about that. I can't delete from. Oh, fuck me.
Do you want me to take care of that there? Just a sec.
No.
Oh, no. I'll leave it.
Me being a boomer.
I can block you if you want.
Yeah, I should be blocked.
That's funny.
I can't even fucking type. 'Cause I'm trying to not take my mask off because that's when I'm off camera. I know you can't hear me because I'm away from the damn mic. When I'm off camera, I take my mask off because this shit is itchy as fuck. And so I don't want to take it off and just put it right back on because I know I'm being camera. So there's Fireball, there's Matt. I appreciate Thoth, and I'm going to go to Matt.
We're gonna have to put together a GoFundMe to get you a new mask that doesn't itch.
Yeah, I want to go through the process of getting a new mask. Actually, this was never the long term mask. So
We'll have it custom made. I think it would be really badass.
I want a custom made mask. There's actually a place. I happen to be not too far from a place that probably could do it. So
That's cool. You should.
yeah, so that's a project in and of itself. But please promote yourself and your channel. To everyone.
I'm Matt from Foulball Productions, and I thanks for having me on, dude. I love streaming with you. You're one of my favorite people to stream with. I think you're really interesting perspective. I like your videos. I like your takes. It's really fun. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm interacting with like Friday Night Tights when I like hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? Like it has that vibe. It's like, yeah, fuck. Like we can say what we really think, and like you guys get it. Like you're on the same wavelength. It's really cool. Off 100% the same. Thought's one of my favorite people to do expand streams with because he's super knowledgeable and super fun. And you can see all those on my channel. I try to cover every episode of the Expanse. Sometimes I'll do group panels talking about it, but I'm learning to like branch out to like other stuff. Like I have my MF for podcast where I kind of talk more like culture-y things that aren't just, purely, the Expanse or other sci-fi. But I mean, that is my main thing. So if that's interested, come check it out. I try to do live streams fairly often and have some cool people on and talk about it, and just try to keep growing and getting better and getting to know cool ass people. Dude, it was good hanging out with I can't see his name and I'm blanking on Slasher. Thank you. It's good hanging out with you, dude. It's good. You have good perspectives. I like hanging out and talking with you.
Yeah. You're cool to talk to too.
Yeah, man. So super fun. So thanks for having me, and yeah, sub to Foulball Productions.
Yeah, please sub.
I did already.
Thanks, brother.
Cool.
I sub to you as well.
Yeah.
So actually, I will definitely mention Slasher McSplitter while I get his channel up there. But please promote your stuff, man. I appreciate it. It's the second time you've been on with me, and you're dope to be on.
Third time I've talked to you too.
Yeah, because third time, because the first time was with Paulie.
Yeah, Paulie stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really do much with my channel. I did a lot at first, and then I kind of like slacked off. I'm not really. I'm not like digging for gold or anything with with Twitter or YouTube anymore because I just realize things are lost causes sometimes. But whatever, I try to have fun with everything. I love talking movies. And tonight I'm actually trying to set up a watch party. I love doing watch parties. So tonight I'm trying to set up a watch party for the 1990 Captain America movie.
Wow. That's interesting.
So if anyone wants to come through.
I want to be.
You
I do
hit me
kind
up.
of want to be a part of that because I haven't seen that movie, and I'm trying to get your
Yeah.
link there.
That's great. Is it really bad? I feel like it would be really bad.
Oh, it's like straight to VHS bed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like
I
I
wonder
was
if
saying
my old
before,
PPR
I was saying before, Marvel was doing belly flop after belly flop, making movies until Blade,
That's rad.
Yeah, they
And this-
were.
and this was one of the belly flops.
Man,
That's
see,
awesome.
like onto concrete, like out of a fucking 10-story fucking window onto concrete. And
Are
they
you
did this
streaming?
over and over again.
Are you streaming it on your channel? Like, are you doing like?
Yeah. I'm doing it on my channel.
That's
I'm
awesome.
doing it on my
Yeah,
channel.
when you plan on doing it?
It's 10:24. I'm gonna be doing it probably around 12. I'll set it up for like 12.
Okay, well, hit me up, and
If you're still awake or whatever.
Yeah, because I might have passed out, but yeah, hit me up, man.
Yeah, no doubt. But
Okay.
yeah, that's me.
Cool. Hey man,
All right.
I was thinking too when you were doing all those action figures, man. I don't know that'd be a pretty good niche for a channel.
Yeah, but I don't know. I see, because I know that certain people do that, but like, what am I gonna show? Like, I'm gonna be like, and this is this GI Joe, and this is this GI Joe. Or like,
Yeah,
I don't know how because I've seen people do toy videos before, and but I wouldn't be able, because I do everything my own way. I try not to be another person's way.
sure.
I do everything my own way. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
It was just something to
Whatever.
think about. I was interested because it was clear like how deeply you knew what you were talking about and how interested you were in it.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
I think that's always a good indication if someone wants to create something like that's.
Like I said, I'm a huge action figure fan.
Yeah, that's
Action-
a good North Star for I think if you're going to be a creator.
Action figures, old school comic books, movies in general, even modern day wrestling, I guess, because I still watch the pay-per-views. I don't know, like, I have certain subjects I can talk about, but when people get into 6-hour Star Wars conversations, I can't hang. I really can't.
I feel
Like,
like
even if I had the knowledge, I don't think I'd be able to hang anyway. Because
I don't know how the
everyone just constantly talks Star Wars, and I'm like, Star Wars.
Yeah,
Arg.
All right.
yeah. I mean, well, we talk Star Wars, but it's not like I don't know the EU lore and all of that. I mean, it's-
Yeah. Some people get really deep into that shit. They really do.
yeah, I've got all the books. I've read them all.
yeah. I just recently found out Mace Windu was still alive. I think me and Matt found out on the same stream. It was like, what? He's still
Well,
kicking?
okay. Without getting into a long discussion about that, we've never seen a body. That's it.
I guess.
I mean, would they stop doing shit like that? Okay, yeah, Boba Fett was alive in the EU. No, he fucking wasn't. Okay, like I don't care if they made him. He's not alive. He fell into the gut of the Sarlacc pit. He's dead. Stop.
Actually, he did. He crawled himself out. There's actually a
And
bunch
now
of books.
there's a 6-hour Star Wars.
There's
God
there's
damn
some
it.
books actually
God
on
damn it.
Boba Fett
See what
and
you
how he
did?
got out of the Sarlacc.
Spoken
I
to
know
his
there's
business.
books. I know there are thoughts. I'm saying that's stupid.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think,
All right,
yeah, that-
sorry, Slasher.
that's our stream.
I was kidding.
You're like,
I
God,
was kidding.
won't leave you.
All right, man. All right, you know what? And I think that'll do it. So, I wanted to say this. I wanted to end on this because we're talking about fandom, and I always have the damn Rorschach quote, and I have it put up. I'm trying to read my fucking mask, so it's going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
But the gist of it is, the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us," and we will whisper, "No." That has to be our attitude as fans. I think that's kind of what we've said all stream, that we really can't save these fucking companies anymore. We can't just let our fandom get in front of logic. We have to shut this shit down now. We have to not pay attention. We have to not pay them. We have to not buy things we normally would buy. So back issues or older material, watch the OT as much as you want, because that's yours. Watch, the original RoboCop, original whatever media you like as much as you want, because it's yours, because this new shit is not going anywhere. But that's neither here nor there. For Slasher McSplitter, Fireball Productions, Lord Thoth, Fenrir the Ice Wolf, Just Another Red Shirt, and West Moody Webcast. And I hope that was everybody, because my memory is like a fish. I am Vigilante Williamson. I want to thank you for watching any of this or all of this. If you like the video, please like the video. If you so obliged to share, subscribe, please do. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and God bless. Peace.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Year.